Yo, what is up, pussies? We are back with another episode of MogCast, episode number
10.
Fucking 10. Holy shit.
10.
No, wait, are we sure?
We're on 10, yes.
Holy hell, we are on episode number 10.
Because I remember looking at the Remington episode, because in YouTube Studio, after 10 videos, it starts to show you the ranking. So we're going to be able to see how each MogCast does, and then we'll get the equivalent of body dysmorphia, but podcast version.
Yeah.
Because anytime we'll see like 5 out of 10, and we'll be like, damn, it's doing bad, even though it's actually doing average.
And so I know you guys are wondering, yo, what's up with the new setup? So we got this beautiful 96-inch table, bought to us.
Bought to us?
How it gifted to us
Gifted
by
to us.
the owner of Young LA, Gary. So
Thank
shout
you,
out to
Gary.
you, Gary. He gifted this to us. Really fucking nice. We're not gonna talk about the price, but we moved the poster over. We got the nice Gorilla products in the back.
We're not going to talk about the price. It's just a nice way to say this is a nice fucking
It's
table.
a nice fucking table. And yeah. And so we've got Kenny here as well.
Hello.
And you guys really liked the episode with Kenny, and we didn't really have a guest plan, so we were just like, yo, fuck it, let's just get Kenny on. And instead of having it be like a guest podcast where it's more about Kenny, you just have him in on the conversation. You don't just another brain in the
A big one.
yeah, just another big ass brain that we
got a whole
can
lot of
talk
stuff
about
to cover.
Yeah, guys, can you guys see James's shirt? Look at that, Vical. Yeah, you've talked about the origin of Vical on this podcast, right?
I don't know if I have like the name.
Well, no,
or
just
the
like
origin of the company.
Oliver. You and
Okay, yeah. I
Oliver.
mean, basically, you knew I was planning on like actually moving in with Oliver.
Yeah,
it was
before
gonna be
me.
It was going to be a me and Sush type situation, but with Oliver. And this was back like February 2020. We were young and naive. We had no idea about coronavirus or any of the shitstorm of stuff that was coming in the next
Those
year.
were the good old days,
The
man.
good old days.
Fucking.
Normal.
Back when you could go outside.
I wasn't
And-
even lifting in those days.
Wait, February 2020? Nah.
Come on, dude.
Nah,
I just
1
started
year,
lifting
2
a
years,
couple weeks
same
ago.
But yeah, we were planning on moving into LA, which looking back on it, I'm very glad we didn't. We weren't able to just because with Corona, it just kept getting extended and extended and extended, and then eventually we just called it off. But we were kind of planning on just starting merch together. Like, yo, we're going to be living out in LA. We're probably going to be making sick content. Let's start merch together. And then it turned into like, let's actually turn this into a company because why not?
And this is all while you guys are under the contract with Gymshark. So you guys are sneaking around, huh? Is that allowed in the? Is that allowed in?
Nah, they'll probably sue me.
They'll
if they
reach
hear
out
this
to.
podcast.
They'll reach out to you. They'll be like, "Hey, James.
No, but I mean, we told Gymshark
yeah,
about it, and they said at first it was just gonna be stringers, and they said that it was cool, and then they kind of flip flopped, and they said, now that you actually got the samples, no longer cool.
yeah. Now that
So-
you're actually doing it, it's not just an idea.
you invested
Slow the
money?
fuck down, man.
Yeah. Oh, you're actually gonna do it and invest money and make money off it? No, you can't do that shit.
I will take partial responsibility though, because they said it probably won't be an issue. You guys can do it, but just like send us updates and stuff. And I didn't send them updates. But anyway, it ended up just kind of falling apart. Then I got kicked out of Gymshark, and then I'm like, fuck it, I still got all these stringers, and
Vical to the moon.
I'd rather do something on my own. So
We had to convince Oliver to drop Gymshark.
yes, I might also get sued for that too. But we did have to convince Oliver. It didn't take much. I was just like, bro,
he already
come
had
on,
his
entrepreneur.
mind made up.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where it's like you already have your mind made up, but you just want like another person to be like, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Extra what do you call that? Affirmation.
Motivation.
Yeah.
Affirmation. Yeah. And now we're going balls deep.
Yeah. And a lot of you guys have asked, yo, Sush, why aren't you involved with Vical? Or like why? Like what's the deal? Is this like a 3-way thing? So I'm not like an owner or whatever, but I am going to be investing like a lump sum of money into the company. That way I'll be making money off of it, but you guys
will be making money. We'll be giving him his investment plus
this
some
is some
profit
Shark
back.
Shark Tank
Shark
shit.
Tank.
I came up to him one morning.
You're a brand new venture capitalist.
Yeah,
literally.
I came up to him one morning. He was probably like eating his breakfast, and I came up to him. I'm offering this amount of money for this amount.
For 5% equity.
Yeah.
No,
and that's
you
what
sit on the
happened.
couch. James walks in through the hallway with like some stringers, with the
music. The music comes on the soundbar. Yeah.
And so I am involved with ViCal. So those of you wondering, we're all gonna be,
and it's gonna be good for you guys too because we're obviously spending this money out of pocket to buy the initial like amount. So there's only so much that we can buy. We're not loaded. So like with Sush investing money into it, that'll be more product and he benefits and I benefit and you benefit. It's like a big happy family.
Thanks, Sush.
yeah.
Thanks, Sush.
Yeah.
Everyone comment thanks,
Everyone in the
Sush.
comment this time is thanks, Sush. But yo, so first topic that I wanted to talk about, somebody had DM'd me actually. He goes, let me read it out real quick. He goes,
Come on now, bud.
yeah, dude, I wish I had it pulled up.
Yeah, that's kind of
Imagine.
crazy.
I'm not prepared.
I got all these
Crazy.
like nudes in my phone, right?
Oh, okay. Yo, Kenny, James, can we please start the podcast? Please, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. Doesn't even have the DM pulled up.
Dude, I was hyped up on Adderall.
Whoa.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I was going to talk about that anyways, so we might as well talk about it now. The cat's
Let's
out of
do
the
it.
bag. Well, I was just going to say, before the podcast, I just want to be transparent, you know? Like, I'm not a drug-free guy, you know? I'm not going to sit around here with the red ribbon and be like, say no to drugs, you know? But yeah, say no to drugs. But yeah, I mean, I use Adderall, especially before the podcast. It's late at night. It's only 9:10, but I like to feel energized and talkative. So,
But that's honestly our own fault. Because if we did the podcast earlier, we
I
wouldn't
wouldn't,
need
yeah.
it. I mean, I didn't take Adderall. I take Smooth before every podcast just because I'm still kind of feeling I'm pretty awake. I feel good. But Smooth just kind of helps the neurons fire better.
well, you took some Smooth, right? Or Rush?
Yeah, he gave me some Smooth.
Yeah, 6 pills.
I took like a third of a scoop of Stim as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
For funsies.
But I took like I don't know, probably 7 milligrams. I actually snort it. So the reason why I snort it, I don't recommend this at all. It's not good for you.
But here's exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
Here's the benefits of doing it that way.
Yeah. Here are the exact benefits. So when you snort it, it's in and out of your system really quickly. It's straight into right in the brain, right from the nostril to the brain. So it's like in 2 hours, I'll be probably knocked out because it's like the crash of
Versus if you were to swallow it, it would probably be like 6 hours
Yeah.
that you're awake.
Yeah, and we don't
No
want that.
good. No good. We're
Yeah.
trying to fix the schedule.
Also, I've been using Adderall lately, just like when I'm tired, and I noticed that I really does affect my appetite. So I'm not saying, use Adderall on the cut, but I'm going to definitely be using it like probably every 2 or 3 days because what's that shit? Like the dopamine?
Dopamine receptor downregulation.
Yeah, you don't want that. So
That's why I had to stop taking my DMAA pre. I was taking it like every day.
Bro, that is so crazy to me that that's just a whole issue that people don't even really talk about is like, okay, if you look at the DMAA molecule versus the Adderall molecule, amphetamine, they're nearly identical. In fact, the actual structure, the base structure of the molecule is exactly the same. The only difference between them is one, I think, has a benzene ring and the other has a methyl group on it. So the only
I know
difference...
what that means.
But no,
yeah, we all know that.
you don't need to understand what that means.
They're
what
close.
I'm saying is the only difference between them is how fast they're out of your system.
Oh.
So it's literally amphetamine.
Oh,
So is
fuck.
DMA
It's just-
faster?
Yes.
Dude, maybe we just get some DMA here.
So it's funny that, okay, like Hannah would not take Adderall. If I offered her Adderall, she'd
But
be like,
she'll
no.
take DMAA.
But if I gave her some pre-workout that has DMAA in it, she's literally taking a fast-acting version of literal amphetamine. It's the same shit.
But is DMA legal though? I think it was like
It's
out.
You have to-
banned.
now,
It's
if
banned.
you do pre's, it has to say not for human consumption. Like my pre that I had, it's a pre-workout, but it says not for human consumption. It's a chemical compound, but
'Cause
it's
I know-
DMAA
What
pre-workout.
the
I'm not gonna
fuck.
say the source,
Yeah.
but I know a company sells like DMAA, like
Mm-hmm.
like it's just like the powder form, just the raw form. So I don't know. Maybe they concentrate that into the pre.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
That is just crazy though, because like you can still fit. There's certain things like DMHA, DMAA, but I think DMAA is the closest in terms of the feeling. And people will like, it was me, bro. I was like 15, 16, and I'm taking these mega doses. If you take Adderall, you're taking like 5 to 10 mgs. If you're taking DMAA, it's like sometimes 50 plus.
Yeah,
And-
my pre was 100 a scoop, and I would do 3/4 of a scoop. So I was taking 75 mgs of DMAA for a while every day.
Do you guys take breaks off pre?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Because I think I need a stim break.
Is with the old pre's.
Well, you did a video on that, but
people would like
cycle it, right?
People would take it, because they would think since it says pre-workout on it, it's just a workout supplement, so they can take it every day. And yeah, they heard things. You should probably cycle off of it, but they'd take like one day every 2 weeks and not take it, and they'd think that they're good. They're literally basically taking fast-acting Adderall every single day.
Yeah.
And that's why they're like, I can't go to the gym without my pre. It's like, yeah, bro, you literally won't be able to function.
You are dependent on your pre, bro.
Yeah. And
it's like your rest day. You're fucking like in your bed shaking
withdrawals. So it was just crazy looking back on it. And because I remember I looked up the difference between, because I was curious. I'm like, okay, they say DMAA is like legal Adderall. That's why I knew the thing about like the benzene ring, because I remember seeing this graphic where it drew the molecule out and it's literally the same, but the only thing is this ring on it, which basically changes how long it takes to get out of your system. But it's the same fucking molecule.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, holy shit, it's literally fucking amphetamine in pre-workout.
I feel like, when I snort the Adderall, I feel like it's probably pretty similar to DMAA, because like in an hour and a half, I'm conked out. Because, dude, you can see on, like, other podcasts, bro, it's, like, halfway through the podcast, and I'm yawning, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm so tired, and it just hits me like a fucking...
They're extremely similar, yeah.
Bro, it hits me like a fucking wall. Like, I don't even want to talk or anything like that. But do you guys... So, I feel like I should take breaks off stim pre. I don't know. Like, because we take... Bro, think about how many times we take pre-workout every single fucking day.
I don't want to be a hypocrite, because I literally just said 2 seconds ago...
Yeah.
I don't want to be that person that I just mentioned 2 seconds ago, but I think there is a difference with something like DMAA. It's so dopaminergic, and that's why people literally used to feel like euphoric on pre, because these old pre's, and there's still some around like dark energy, I think.
Yeah.
Where you take it and it's like you feel high, and it's because you literally are. There's like dopamine just being squirted aroround in there. And
damn,
there's a lot of pre's that still have the clones of DMAA still that are like fine.
Yeah,
that's fucked up. I didn't realize this was such a. I didn't realize that was such like a thing.
Yeah, bro. There's like young kids just out there getting hooked on.
There was literally
DMAA.
a TikTok trend where it's like dark energy, and they'll like take it and they'll mix it with a fucking bang or something, and they'll just like overdose on caffeine, and like, oh, they just pulled a crazy PR, and like all the kids are like, oh, this is so cool. Now I want to do this. I want to take the dark energy.
I think if you can take,
I
think we have Jack 3D in there, don't we?
Yeah.
Which has,
I don't know if
it's
it
a
has
low
any.
dose of DMAA.
I think it's DMHA or some shit.
No, I think it has legit, because it says geranium
is it the OG
extract.
one, or is it the new formula?
I think it's the OG, because it says
DMAA.
geranium extract, which is the nice manufacturer way of saying DMAA is in this. But I haven't taken that in probably
I haven't touched that. It tastes like
3
shit,
months.
bro. Grape. I don't like grape flavored stuff. Artificially grape flavored shit tastes like doggy.
I can just take Rush.
Yeah,
Rush is better anyway.
Or you can just take Adderall.
Yeah, but I don't know. For the gym, sometimes it almost gets me too like
Dialed
wired.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the main thing for me is Adderall. Is when I take Adderall, I get really talkative, you know.
Yes.
Like at
the gym, 100%.
At the gym, or like after the gym in the car, I'll be talking.
Like I'll walk into the bathroom and I'll see someone in there just doing his own thing, and that happened today. I walked into the bathroom, some guy's got his headphones on, and I had to resist the urge to
say nice cock.
to like tell him
nice
to
cock.
Whoa.
I give that a solid 9 out of 10, man. But I like wanted him to take his headphones off just so I could be like, I had some like joke to make, and I'm like, bro, this guy's probably just minding his own business.
Buddy.
Yeah, I know. So that's like the biggest thing.
So I'm taking a break from stims, man. Honestly, would you take a break off? Does that count as like nicotine though as well? Like just full of cold turkey, no coffee, stim. No nicotine, nothing.
My thing was no caffeine, but then I like that's my pre, that's soda, that's tea, that's my coffee. But even then, like I will say, do you only take caffeine like centered around your workout?
Well, I used to drink
mostly.
I used to drink coffee every day, and then I switched to decaf, and now I switch like on and off sometimes. Like coffee in the morning, I'll take decaf.
I will say, if you're like your main caffeine is just before your workout, like I took a week off. The only part of my day that sucked was getting ready for the fucking gym, getting in the zone, getting motivated, because I love the ritual. I love pre-workout. I love sitting, having a YouTube video going, motivational, some shit.
That's when you get the
making
nitric,
my pre, drinking it. I tried it with nitric, not the same. My brain was used to the caffeine. It was used getting ready for that wake up.
Because the pump is there, but if you don't have that intensity, it's just not the same.
No, that's fucked.
It was ass.
I mentioned. Well,
I was just gonna say that like I know this sounds bad, and don't take this as advice, but it's totally advice. I think that if you are using something like Gorilla Mode Energy, where Derek recommends like 2 scoops is actually like the full efficacious dose, and we're only taking 1 scoop, and you don't drink coffee, tea, or soda, I think doing that once a day, assuming you have a rest day where you don't take it, you're probably good.
Yeah.
If you're only doing 1 scoop. But that doesn't really apply to me because I drink coffee in the morning. I have soda sometimes. I had tea for a while. So it's like I am consuming caffeine throughout the day, which
coffee
probably
every
isn't
morning?
Good.
Just about every
Just
morning.
about.
If you take a stim break, you're for sure gonna notice it.
Yeah, no.
And when we go to Starbucks drinks are fucking loaded with caffeine. It's like, cause it's like, bro, it's like the venti is like 300 milligrams.
Yeah.
That's like literally my pre-workout. It's like 300 milligrams.
Bro, I was getting quad shots for a while. Each shot has, I think, 70 or 80 mgs of caffeine.
Some psycho shit.
I think that, fuck was I going to say? I think that if I were to take a stim break, the worst part of it would actually be the mornings, not workout.
Yeah.
Because I love having coffee in the morning. And it's not even like, technically on paper, Gorilla Mode Energy plus like Smooth would be better for actual productivity, but just the taste and ritual of like brewing coffee, you smell it, you feel good. I can't live without that, and I get headaches when I don't have it.
Yeah, no, I get headaches. I get headaches for sure.
And you'll be miserable if you try the break. I was fine. Besides, working out sucked.
Straight up addicted.
Yeah.
But I mentioned nicotine because people have asked me, yo, dude, you got to talk about how you quit nicotine. So I don't know if have you ever been addicted to nicotine?
Nah, like back in school, like all my friends juuled and shit, so I'd hit it with them like socially.
Yeah.
I never got addicted.
Okay. And you were pretty addicted in college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd never tried it, and I wasn't against it. I just was like, why would I do that? And I remember it was one day I had these 2 roommates. They were partiers. Shout out Ryan and Jeremy. You guys are awesome. But they were partiers, and they vaped, and I came in, and I'd had a long day of school, and I was like, let me hit that, man. I see you guys hitting that all the time. And I tried it, and for like 2 weeks, I didn't buy anything, but I noticed that I kept coming home from class, and I'd be like, let me hit that. And then, but back at that point, it was like 2017. A lot of people in college were like vaping back then. Yeah. Now the new thing is like, I don't even know, Zins or something.
No, I think the new thing, it's just still vaping. But I want to talk about that because, okay, so I went to college on the East Coast. So, and then in high school, we were vaping as well. So in high school, I was like on and off. I had a device, and then I would get rid of it because I was scared of like my parents and shit. And then I went to school on the East Coast, smoking cigarettes and stuff. And then I switched to dip for a little bit, and I was dipping tobacco, which is fucking disgusting. And then, like, dude, imagine me with a fucking hog, like, in my mouth, spitting into a bottle.
That's redneck shit right there.
No, yeah, it was the East Coast. It was a Citadel. It was a military college. So we were dipping, and then I switched from dip to Juul, which was, like, a big step up because it was super clean. But, like, the Juul is so...
All right. Technical difficulty.
Okay.
Anyway, you were saying about the...
Yeah, so I was hitting the Juul. Like, Juuls are fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're easy, they're tasty. Yeah. And it's just, like, constant putting in your mouth and putting it down. And no homo. And so, you know, I'm ripping the Juul, and I got super addicted, like a pod and a half a day. And then I dropped out of school, but I was still vaping. I actually quit for a little bit. But then when I was, like, at school at community college... When I transferred, I started vaping again, and I brought that habit down here. And then like 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, okay, fuck it, dude. I got to stop. Well, one, because I thought it was making me break out, but really it was the fucking steroids. But I thought it was making me break out. I was like, oh, dude, if I quit the Nick, it'll
Dude's
stop.
like pinning himself, and he's like...
I'm pinning myself.
I think it's this Juul, man. Fucking, yo, pin me real quick. It's fucking nicotine.
The nicotine making me break out, clogging my pores.
You like pin instantly, like, boop, boop, boop.
Yeah,
like, fucking Juul, bro.
The Juul, man. So I was like, okay, I got to stop this shit. And now I stopped it. Honestly, I low-key kind of do want to just like start vaping again. But then again, I already have posted about it, like how I quit. And I have so many people. I have so many people hitting me up being like, yo, dude, how did you quit? Like, I quit because of you. And I was like, fuck, I can't go back on it now, dude.
Yeah.
So I'm like 4 months clean. So what I did was essentially just cold turkey. Like, dude, you can't be around it because that's one of those things where it's like, if you see it, it's like, dude, you want it, you know?
Yeah.
Or if you're thinking about it.
It's going to be tough on the cut, though, because you're not going to be getting all that dopamine from food. So you're going to want it from something else.
Yeah, Adderall and pussy. That's why
That's
I got
a healthy replacement.
that's why I got the girl
DMA-fueled sex.
Yeah, 100%, bro. And so, yeah, cold turkey, that bitch. Actually, I went from Juul to Zyn, and I did Zyn for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And then that was the end of it. So
It's the pouches, right?
Zyn's like the really clean. Honestly, if you guys are struggling with nicotine at all, I would switch to Zyn because Zyn is like the cleanest, straight nicotine, little pouch you shove in your mouth.
We are not sponsored.
Not sponsored by Zyn, ZYN.
However.
Yeah. And I'm not saying fucking start Zinning.
Yeah.
But yeah, use that shit, dude, because that's clean. And then honestly, it'll help you quit because you don't want to go to the gas station, buy a $5 plastic thing and be like, oh, I got to throw this in because I'm fucking addicted. Closed-minded piece of shit, pussy.
Yeah, fuck you if you're addicted to Nick. Just stop.
Yeah,
Simply.
literally just stop. Just throw it away. All right, but getting on to this conversation, the reason why I brought this whole thing up. So this guy says, he DMs me, he goes, I swear to God, this is important. This kid is a freshman in high school. Read his caption. He fucking idolizes you, man. So he's talking to me. I met him when he was in 8th grade, and he was normal-sized 8th grader, so I'm about 100% certain he's on the sauce. So this would mean he's like probably 14 on gear. Obviously, it's speculation if he's on gear. But, I mean, at 14, his physique looks...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
I'll look away.
I'm not going to... I'm not going to...
The top left.
Yeah. So he's 14 years old. He's got a pretty sick physique for 14. I mean, I'm definitely 10 times bigger than him.
Yeah,
So-
you got him, man.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm a huge fan, bro, but I love all your friends. But a lot of your fans are young like him and so impressionable. So I'm asking you for the sake of guys like this, could you please address this in the next MogCast? Kids fucking themselves up, getting on SARMs because they're trying to be like you. I'm not saying it's your fault, just to be clear, but I think he might listen if you said not to do it. So, responding to this DM, I'm not going to tell you not to do SARMs, okay? Because that's not what I'm here for. I'm not your fucking dad.
I will.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll-
James will be
I'll-
the dad.
I mean, I can tell you not to do something, and you can still do it, right? So it's like, I don't get this whole thing. It's like, I'm not going to tell you to do this or that. It's like, I'll tell you to do anything that I feel is worth telling you to do or not do, but obviously it's up to you to follow that. So I'll tell you right now, you shouldn't do SARMs because I did LGD and got blood work done afterwards, and it put my test levels... I want to make a video on this, but I just haven't gotten around to it. It put my test levels in the fucking toilet, bro. And that's what's, I think, almost worse in a way for teens to be taking SARMs. I'm not saying necessarily everyone's going to have that reaction where it suppresses them that
Shout
much.
out Isaiah Miranda.
And I'm not saying that like everyone's even getting real shit, because there's probably a lot of people that are getting like fake shit that's not suppressing them at all. But I almost feel like in a way it's worse for a teenager to take SARMs than take gear. And obviously it's really bad for a teenager to take gear. So I feel like SARMs are maybe not worse, but almost as bad, because hopping on like test and cruising is different than taking a SARM, which is going to wreck your lipids most likely and suppress you. And it's going to take months for you to get your test back up. And that's when you're going through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're fucking with your endocrine system during the only 10 years in your life where you just should not fuck around with your endocrine system.
You have a micropene,
you know?
bro.
Yeah, you do not want that shit. So it's like you don't want to mess around with your hormones when... I mean, what is puberty? It's literally like fluctuations in hormones that cause you to grow and develop and mature. And if you fuck around with that process... I'm no rocket scientist, but it doesn't sound like a good idea to fuck with that process while you're going through puberty. But that's why I recommend to wait until you're in your 20s.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend that, but it's like, I'm not gonna stop you. Like if you told me, if you DM me, yo, bro, I'm about to take my first dose of Rad 140. Well, what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna be like, nothing, bro. Good luck.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I was 19, and I was like 19 and a half. So I was like 6 months into lifting probably. I know it's early, whatever. 6 months into lifting, I was like, dude, everyone at my school is fucking yoked, and everyone's talking about SARMs. I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get on SARMs. And honestly, I had a pretty good experience with it. Like I didn't PCT, I didn't get blood work. I'm not saying that's something you should do, but you know, that's what I did. And like I made a fucking shit ton of gains. And
but you were also fat.
Yeah, I was fat. Well, it was like a dirty bulk, bro. I was eating probably like 5K calories, not tracking, and just eating everything. Dude, because I was under the mindset where it was like, eat everything.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, I wonder how many of those gains were from the SARM and how many of them were just from dirty bulking.
Yeah, but
and training your ass off and just like.
But the training, but that's the thing, the training your ass off, bro. When I was on LGD, bro,
you didn't know how to train.
No. When I was on LGD, I have never trained. I have never had like an 8-week span of me training that hard in my whole entire life. Still to this day, like I had so much endurance and so much like.
Endurance, that's a big one. Like when I took
dude.
it, yeah.
Dude, I was in the gym for. I had 2 buddies, Tom and Ben. Shout out them. I had 2 buddies that we would train with. Bro, I'd be killing them because they were natty, obviously, and I'm in the gym for fucking like 3.5 hours, not even gas, doing 5 sets of 20, just like insane volume. My strength like went up a little bit, but like just insane volume every single fucking day, like not even taking rest days because I was like, it was placebo, you know, like, oh, I'm taking this, I don't want to make it go to waste.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, dude, insane volume, whatever, and like, even if it is placebo, I was like in the gym, I'm like thinking, doing these reps, I'm like, bro, I'm on LGD. I can't be a pussy and stop this shit. Like I got to keep going. So I don't know if that was just like a newbie cycle thing or what, but I made hella gains. There were obviously some of it newbie gains, some of it SARMs gains, some of it food gains. But
yeah, it's just funny that like,
and I didn't have any suppression either, but I don't know. I don't really know what suppression is.
You don't know what it means, or
no, I don't know
like
any
like.
I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I've never felt it.
Right. Well, it's funny that, I mean, it's not funny. It's funny in an ironic way that, like, there's so many teenagers that, because high school is so superficial, and there will be that one guy that hops on gear or SARMs, and he blows up, and then everyone else in high school kind of wants to look like him, right? So I just feel like your natural test is already going to be so high when you're going through puberty. You might as well. I don't think that you should take anything when you're going through puberty. I just simply don't. But if you're determined on taking something, and nothing I say is going to stop you, then I personally think that something like MK 677 would be the best thing to go with, because at least you're not going to be fucking with your hormones. I mean, you're going to be raising your growth hormone IGF-1, but like, you're not going to be fucking with your hormones as much as something like RAD 140, which is going to suppress you.
But to me, I feel like insulin sensitivity is even scarier than.
Well, no, because if you do it for like 1 month,
if you get diabetes,
there's people who run that shit like.
Yeah, but you're not going to get diabetes
after
after
that insulin stuff.
Yes.
I feel like you have to be like asking.
Honestly,
for it,
I don't know.
I
don't know shit about it. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, if you run it for a month or 2 months and you're eating clean, like, it's not going to give you diabetes.
I don't know if it was
banaba root extract. It'll help your blood sugar. And
what
your
is
insulin.
It?
Banaba root extract. I started taking it towards the end of my MK, and it's basically like, like glucose disposal agents. That's one of the ingredients in a lot of them, but it's one that's actually like, there's a couple studies that show it actually helps like moderate your fucking insulin levels and shit when you take a lot of carbs.
Bro, I remember I used to be walking back from the gym on campus. It was like probably a 1/4 mile walk or 20th of a mile. I was walking back, bro, and there were literally times, I don't know if it was the MK, because at military school, bro, it was like you had to eat at a certain hour. So there were some days I was working out without 6 hours of food. And so I would be walking back, bro, and I literally thought I was going to pass out. And I don't know if it was because I was on MK and LGD. I don't know if it was the MK, like blood sugar messing with me.
It's probably because you were fat, bro. You're walking back.
But
you're exhausted from food. You have no energy in your system. And your lipids probably aren't looking too hot on the SARM, LGD.
Yeah,
but when
I feel like that though. If I go like 4+ hours without eating, even if I'm not taking MK or something, I start fading out of fucking existence.
Yeah,
like maybe, I'm dead.
100%.
But there were like literally times I had to like sit down, dude, because and I had never felt that ever in my whole entire life. So then like I started just carrying on orange juice.
I don't know. I still think that spikes in insulin, I mean, it's all bad. That's the thing. It's like it hurts me to even try to compare it and make one sound better. But it's like, at the end of the day, when my body's developing, I'd rather choose spikes in insulin than suppressing my testosterone when like I need that test to develop, you know?
Yeah. And also, I do want to point out in that DM, he was like, you got to talk about kids hopping on SARMs because they're like chasing your look. Bro, you can achieve my look naturally. Just wait 5 years, okay? Like you can get my look from...
Yeah, but people want it tomorrow.
Yeah, then hop on test, bro. But yeah, I mean, how was your experience with LGD? Because
So basically, the reason I decided, all right, I'm joining the dark side, I'm going to become a natty, is because I was weighing, early 2020, I was weighing 155, and then the gyms closed down, and I was depressed, stopped eating 1,000 calories a day type shit, sleeping and gaming all day, and I came out of that like in the very low 130s. Yeah. I was that shit like, I was that shit like in like...
How tall are you?
5'11".
Okay.
I was a skinny motherfucker, but and I get it back into it. My weight went back up. I started aggressively bulking. I was doing I was running like the Power Effect, and you can I could just type in 4,000 calories, and it tells me what to eat. So I was eating that to a T. It was like almost 1,000 carbs a day. It was fucking destroying my stomach, but I was doing that because I was determined, and kind of got some of my gains back, and then it becomes late 2020, and then after Thanksgiving, I remember because I ate all that food, and then I come home like, oh, I'm gonna weigh myself, and I was 142, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing, dude? I gotta like get on my shit, bro. I've lost so much gains. Like I could be a whole nother level of my fucking physique if I just wasn't stupid with my shit, because I had ups and downs my whole fitness journey because I didn't know how to eat. So from then on, I was aggressively like eating 32 to 3,500 calories a day. I got from 142 to 155. And then my shit kind of plateaued. But by the time I already had that LGD ordered. So it comes in, I start taking it. I ran it for December in January into January 2021, and peak weight 169. And then since then I came off all that stuff, stopped taking MK2. I was taking MK to help with appetite. Now I'm like 165.
Damn, so you retained pretty much.
And everything. I would say I noticed zero sign. I mean, I was only taking 7 mgs, low dose, only 2 months, not very long. I noticed zero suppression. I didn't get my blood work. I didn't PCT. I just took natural shit like adaptogens, like medicinal mushroom type stuff to like adaptogen shit to like moderate my hormones and stuff. But I didn't notice anything. But I do agree with you fully on don't fuck with your hormones, especially if you're hitting puberty and stuff.
How old you? You were 19 at the time?
19, yeah.
Or 18?
Yeah. 19.
Okay.
But it's like that's the
because you just turned 20. Sorry, you just turned 20, right? Okay.
That's the biggest thing I also feel with like most teenagers that are looking into SARMs. It's like, bro, if you just eat more food, that's gonna work way better.
Dude,
than
the food was doing way fucking more of that little bit of LGD. Like I probably could have not done the LGD, bumped up my calories once my weight plateaued, and probably gotten almost the same amount of gains.
Probably the same thing.
And also, I just want to point this out because there is an even safer way. Obviously, I don't really know if it's completely safe, but with MK, the reason it's kind of bad for insulin is because it spikes your growth hormone, which antagonizes insulin, something like that, over 24 hours. So it's like insulin's being elevated. I don't fucking know. All I know is that your insulin's constantly elevated, so that can lead to insulin resistance, and then that can lead to diabetes, right? So there's a peptide called GHRP6, which basically short term, like literally in and out within 1 hour, spikes your appetite through the fucking roof higher than MK, but it doesn't lead to this long-term insulin resistance if you keep taking it. The only thing is it's a subcutaneous injection.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are
and
like,
you were doing that,
scary.
Right?
Yeah,
I was. Boost your like growth hormone production?
Yeah, it does, but since it's so short term, it doesn't really have any long-term effects.
So just mainly for appetite.
Like, if you guys don't mind pinning.
And it's not even into the muscle. It's into the fat. You can do it into your belly. You just squeeze the skin. And it's like, I'm not promoting this stuff, but again, if you're already determined to do something because you want to take it to the next level, the biggest thing is going to be increasing your food intake. And if you want to increase your food intake and you want to do it unnaturally, then this peptide, GHRP6, right into the fat, you don't even feel it, and you just get wicked fucking hungry after like 15 minutes.
Or just quit being a pussy and just eat the food.
Wake up earlier, but how does that work for us, bro?
Yeah.
It's easy to say, but I feel like if you naturally have a low appetite, you understand just like how kind of backwards that statement is. It's like, yeah, just eat more until you fucking can.
And I noticed because like when I was younger, I was like, oh, I have such a big appetite. I'm skinny. I eat everything, just burns right out. And people are like that. And skinny kids, especially me, for my first couple years of lifting, I was training hard as fuck in the gym. Maybe I didn't know what I was doing perfectly, but I was training hard.
Yeah.
But wasn't getting, maybe I got my newbie gains, but then after that, wasn't really getting the results I wanted. And it's because I wasn't tracking my fucking calories. And you think you know what you're eating. You're like, I ate this today. Oh, they're all high calorie foods. You end up tracking it. It ends up being like 2,300 fucking calories.
Bro. People think they eat way more than you actually do. They're like, dude, I eat so much. I got to be eating 5K. It's like, bro,
so
okay,
every
tell me.
Skinny kid
It's like, bro, tell me what you eat. And they're like, dude, so I freaking had like this Egg McMuffin at this time. Like little,
cereal.
like little shit, like granola bar. Like, bro. Oh my God.
I feel like it's for me, it was a thing of portion sizes. I realized that like,
you need
I need to finish my food for the day. And then as I'm getting ready to go to bed, I need to go and cook like 8 eggs with butter and cheese and like chocolate milk. And then I'm actually done for the day. So just like
cookie
big
cake.
ass. Yeah. I had 1,000 calories of cookie cake yesterday. Felt like shit in the gym though. But if you just like take whatever you want to eat and you think is a good size meal and then double it. So if you want to have like a burger and fries and you think that that's going to help you bulk, have 2 burgers and double the serving of fries. And then that will probably actually help you bulk.
This would not help.
It's a ridiculous amount of food. This is for hard gains.
Yeah, this is not be good for people like me. And I know there's some people out there like me who have just like a slower metabolism for a high appetite. So,
but I feel like what you said about like people that are trying to gain weight always overestimate how much they're eating, and people that are trying to lose weight underestimate how much they're eating. So they'll be like, that McMuffin was probably only 200 calories.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it was actually
100%. It goes both ways. Like when guys are cutting, I can't lose weight.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, tell me what you're eating. And then they're like, oh, dude, I'm eating this, and this.
Bro,
yeah, bro, you're in a 500 calorie surplus. No wonder you're not fucking losing
Just
weight.
the other day, dude, my friend was eating. He's like, oh, dude, I'm eating this fucking one of those like keto complete cookies. He's like, dude, it only has 4 grams of carbs. And then I look, it's like, dude, it has 20 fat. Like this isn't
That's
like
why it
this
tastes
isn't
good,
what you
bud.
think you're eating, bro.
Yeah.
But do you really care about eating like healthy shit, like bulking, or you just kind of eat calorie dense whatever?
I mean, in a perfect world where I could just hit the appetite button.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'd only eat clean food, but that's physically fucking impossible. The amount that I would have to eat combined with my appetite, there's no way I could do it.
That's what I'm struggling with right now because I'm health conscious and very gut health conscious. But the thing is, a lot of the foods like drive-through shit I can eat helps me I hit my calories like it's fucking nothing, but it destroys my stomach and I feel like shit, bro.
I mean, there's cleaner ways to do it. Like I personally really like Chipotle because Chipotle, I won't say the bowl that I get is perfectly healthy, but I never feel like trash after eating it. I'm like, you know what? That I actually feel pretty good now. And I know it's like 1,200
Yeah, I was
calories.
gonna say it's whole food.
Yeah, it's rice, black beans, carnitas, queso, guac, some salsas.
That's gotta be
lettuce.
And we were talking about that's gotta be a 1,000 calorie bowl. Because my bowl,
I think it's more because yours was like 900.
my bowl's 900.
And it's cleaner.
Yeah.
Mine's carnitas. I get queso. I get guac. And like you can get in high cal foods that are healthy. I'd say avocados are the easiest. So
Or just like nuts in general.
but I'd much rather have 1,200 calories of Chipotle than 1,200 calories of like Wendy's. Like I will just feel so much better afterwards. And when you feel better, like when you don't feel nauseous, you can actually eat more because if you eat Wendy's and you still feel nauseous 3 hours later, you're not going to want to force feed yourself.
Yeah, bro, driving home yesterday, we had to stop and the only thing there was Taco Bell, so I ate it. Dude, that's why I was a little late to the gym to film, bro. I had to stop again and just like shit my guts out. And the rest of the night I was like, I'm not hungry. I don't want to touch food.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost people that go way too aggressive with the dirty bulk because they're hard gainer as fuck. They almost, shoot themselves in the foot because they actually eat less food than they otherwise would. If they kept it 50% cleaner, you can still use high cal stuff, avocado oil, avocados.
Cheese, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of low fat cheese or whatever. Stuff that's still going to be high cal, but is not going to make you feel like shit. Then you're going to actually feel good enough to force feed another meal 2 hours later.
Plus, I feel like if your gut biome is healthier, it's going to do a way better job of like partitioning those nutrients you're giving it versus when you're giving it dog shit and your biome is dog shit.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to optimally process that food.
Yeah.
I will say,
wait, so what? Because I don't really know too much about this. All I know is that probiotics are good. Putting other people's poop up your butt apparently is good for the microbiome, but I'm not planning on doing that. But I know there's like certain things that you can do for your gut microbiome, and I feel like all I really know is like keep fiber intake pretty high and take probiotics. But do you have any like
kombucha?
supplements
I will
you'd
say,
recommend?
especially if you're trying to bulk and you want calorie dense food, the best
Fasting
diet
can also help.
Yeah, the best diet that I really enjoyed. I don't run it to a T. I never bought the fucking book, but I know the foods that it is, and that's mainly the foods that eat my diet is the vertical diet. By Stan Efferding.
Yeah, that is true. Because he
easily digestible
He made
food.
that whole diet around
Gut health.
Yeah, but that's pretty low fiber, right?
Yeah.
Explain the vertical diet.
It's all like whole food,
Whole
and
food,
it's like
easily digestible food, but not necessarily like calorically, like it's not great for like cutting and stuff. It's a lot of red meat. Like that's the main protein sources: red meat, steaks, white rice, avocados, nuts,
sweet potato.
Sweet potato, that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the main thing's that Monster Mash. When you do sweet potato,
that's kind of
bean.
the guy who put Monster Mash on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
It's just like ground bison or beef, and you mix it with white rice, and then you mix that with sweet potato mashed
Ground
up.
bison is so much better than ground beef. It's
Yeah,
so
I love
good.
ground
and
bison.
lamb, dude. I've been switching from ground beef to lamb.
Lamb's
yummy.
so fatty though. Lamb's
Bulking.
super
Yeah,
fatty.
yeah, it's good for us.
Healthy fat.
Yeah,
I think that
We don't know about all that.
You're probably into the gamey food taste then. If you like lamb and bison, like gamey,
Yeah.
like have you ever had venison?
Mm-mm.
Deer meat?
bison
Oh,
doesn't
deer meat,
taste
yeah.
too gamey.
Bison, but it's definitely more gamey than ground beef.
Yes, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But lamb
Lamb is gamey.
like you gotta
I love lamb, dude.
you gotta either
It's my favorite meat.
you gotta have the acquired taste for it, or it'll kind of taste like shit.
I like the lollipop chops.
Mhm.
Where it's like the little bone and then the
and then
piece
you
of
can just
bro. That
nom,
shit
nom.
is so fucking good, bro. But it's so fatty.
Yeah.
So I don't really be eating it anymore. But I used to fucking eat that shit like crazy. All right, let's talk about something else though. By the way, I know that you're making gains is because I was with Avery the other day and she's like, we were looking at your Instagram. And she's like, wow, Kenny's really gotten bigger. So yeah,
Thanks, guys.
yeah, right. So, dude. Bro, we need to talk about this one is more for the girls, okay?
Bro.
Because this has been on my mind for a while. We've been talking about this for a good bit.
Bro.
And Avery's been telling me a lot.
Stinky vagina.
Yes. Stinky coochie, stinky pussy, whatever you want to say. Listen, fellas, if your girl uses Vagisil or like the cleaners that are actually for vaginas,
Mm-hmm.
does your girl use that?
I feel like she used to, but then she realized like it's actually bad, right?
Bro, yes, it's fucking bad for you. So make sure your girls are not using that because I'm sure if she is, she's probably got a stinky cooch.
Because
bro.
apparently it makes it smell like all good and flowery for like 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's fish.
Yeah, dude, because it fucks with the pH levels of the natural pH levels of the vagina. So like because dude, there's this one girl, fucking so smelly, bro, and I'm like, what is going on? Like this just doesn't. There's no way this is correct.
Yeah.
And it's like I could smell it when my head was up here and her genitals are down here by mine, and I could smell that shit. And I'm like, what is going on, bro?
That's no
I'm like,
good.
there's no way that this is natural. So I actually learned that it's actually from like Vagisil and like brands like that. Hopefully they don't come after us. But yeah, guys,
Suing us for defamation.
is that a thing? Yeah, don't sue us.
it's a thing, but I don't think they will.
Yeah,
Vagisil,
Don't
we're
sue
sorry.
us. We're sorry. We didn't mean it. But yo, real talk. If your girl is using that shit, tell her to quit it.
I mean, if you're getting back from the gym and you like go down on her and there's like a little scent, that's normal. But we're talking about like
Fresh out the shower.
If you got to
bro.
put the little clothes hanger on your nose while you're hitting it, that's no good.
Vagisil
That's
stocks
no
right now.
But bro, how would you guys how would you tell her? Like, do you tell her?
I mean, it would
because
depend.
because there are some guys out there right now that are thinking that have a girl in mind.
I'd 100% tell her right now. I'd 100% be
but
like,
you got to be so nice, dude.
But
because
okay,
that is so embarrassing.
If it was a hookup, I probably just wouldn't hook up with her again, honestly.
Yeah.
But if it was a girlfriend, I would be like,
babe.
Listen,
Hit her with
been an
babe.
issue.
I mean, you're looking out for her if you're gonna let her.
Yeah,
know
yeah. No. And like, okay, like if me or Hannah has like bad breath, we always fucking say that.
Yeah.
Like I would be upset if I found out that she was like, oh, we were kissing earlier and you actually had bad breath, but I didn't say anything. I'd be like, bro, I would have just brushed my fucking teeth, you know? But she always tells me and I always tell her. It doesn't happen that often, but it's just like, yo, brush your fucking teeth.
Damn, homie, you got stinky breath.
I do. I got ape breath. I got gorilla breath.
Monkey man.
But
so how would you tell her?
I would probably just be like, okay, Hannah's never had that issue, but I would just be like, listen, like recently, I don't know what's going on down there, but I can smell it, and like I love you. I don't really care, but you should probably go to like a gynecologist and like
I don't
get that
really
looked
care.
at.
You do really care a lot.
I mean, I would just you got to put it softly.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm still gonna love you regardless, but like for your own good, you should probably get that checked out, just because like that's not normal.
Bro, the thing that's fucked up is I thought it was normal. That was a thing where like, because I had been with multiple girls who had smelly vaginas, and I was like, oh, this is just normal. This is how they smell. Now, and then I was like, finally got with a girl who didn't have smelly vagina, and I was like,
I feel like part of it might just be like genetic though.
It's
got to play a role. It's not the only thing though.
Could be genetic.
Smelly cooch gene.
Yeah. I feel bad for anybody with the smelly
bro.
cooch gene. Or like stinky ball gene. Is that a thing?
I don't know if I have that.
I don't have cheese. So
yeah, I don't get cheese.
as long as you guys are cleaning.
If you get cheese, bro, you have to be like actively avoiding.
No, you gotta
cleaning
you gotta be
yourself,
there are
avoiding,
people.
bro.
There are guys out there with cheese. Guys,
That's
get
sick,
the guys get the loofah. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I have one of them in my shower. I just bought one, and I use like it to exfoliate and shit. Bro, when you do that all over, it makes it feel super smooth and shit. But also it just makes it smell so good and feel clean, bro. Like you're really digging in, like, and getting rid of like dry skin.
I have
and
like
shit
a
that.
hard.
Yeah, you've got.
I have a hard scrubber. It's like it hurts,
Mm-hmm.
but I just grit my teeth through the pain.
Yeah,
Stretch
Scrub
your
it.
ball
guys,
out.
please.
Yeah, literally, bro.
I mean, actually, our next sponsor. Hopefully, by the next video, we'll have our sponsor. But take fucking ball hygiene seriously, dude. Because if a girl goes down on you and it smells like dookie, you're gonna be like, bro. She's gonna be like, yo, homie, clean your fucking dick.
So with all the girls that you were with that had like smelly cooch, do you think like none of them like knew?
Dude, I don't know, bro. Because I'm almost like, it has to be, it's normal. It has to be that. Because, okay, they fingered themselves. So they're masturbating and they smell that shit. Because if I can smell it. And it's almost like when they're extra horny, when they're extra wet, I feel like it becomes, like if you're actually
also,
having
they
sex.
just might be accustomed to their own scent.
Yeah.
Just think about it, bro.
That's true.
Some people don't know they smell like
sometimes
shit.
I got to tell you or you got to tell me, bro, you're kind of stinky right now.
Yeah.
And like, I don't notice my own BO. That's what, and like, I think most people don't, unless it's like really bad. And then you're like, holy shit, I smell like poop. But like, we see people at the gym all the time and we're like, oh my,
homie,
that guy smells like poo poo.
Yo, shout out me getting COVID because now I can go down with no fear. It don't matter. It do not matter.
I can't smell shit.
Fresh out the shower, fresh from the gym, it don't matter.
Damn, dude. Oh. But yeah, so I feel like it's amplified when they're extra horny, when it's wet. And so,
But they can't notice it though, because think about it. Like,
there's no way
you
they
smell
do.
Dudes at the gym, right? They walk by and you're like, wow, that is
like,
offensive.
homie, put on deodorant, dude.
But like, I don't think that they smell it.
I feel like
that's why I feel like it's the same with stinky cooch.
But for me, I know when I smell bad, like almost 100% of the time, because I don't usually smell bad. So when I can smell my own BO, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Or if I like hit the little swipe on my balls and go, one of these.
That's the only time that I smell it, and that's like,
oh, dude, there are times
I always do that beforehand. Like, I'll like
100% for sure.
Ah, man,
I gotta shower.
I gotta give it a little wash.
I gotta shower. Or like I'll like spread my legs or like go in a squat position. I'll get a whiff, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting up and going straight to the fucking shower, dude. I'm gonna clean up.
Yeah, But no, like if it's really bad, I'll smell it. But I'd say like there's a fair share of times where Hannah says that you're stinky, you should shower. And I'm like, damn, really? Like, I don't think I smell bad. But then I like actually go and I'm like, oh, damn, I do be smelling stinky.
Yeah. So I don't think girls know. I think if they do, they would, if they knew, they would like talk to their mom or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they'd be like, yo, mom, like
or
my
just
shit.
use Google.
It's most likely they've been using like that cleaner for so long that like, yeah, they're used to that smell versus like a normal girl that doesn't use that. If she's having like just worked out or something like, and she smells it, she'll probably be more likely to notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, I don't want it to smell like fucking flowers.
Yeah. No.
I want it to smell like what it's supposed to. I don't know what it's supposed to smell like, but I want it to smell normal. You know, like
yeah.
I don't want it to be like candy. I don't want it to be super artificial, like artificial sweetener. You know. But yeah, that's what I.
Sprinkle some Splenda.
Dude, should we finally talk about like the corny jokes? Oh, like this is just very quick. This is very quick.
Listen.
That's something that we as a couple, I guess. As a couple of friends,
boyfriend and boyfriend.
As a couple of friends, we've decided that the jokes of like
anything where it's like XYZ boosts your testosterone by 50%. XYZ
5 pounds of muscle.
Adds 5 pounds of muscle.
5 pounds of lean mass, 10 pounds of muscle.
XYZ makes you fucking adds 15% to your deadlift PR. Like, nah, man.
Listen, stop commenting that shit on my posts or on my vids.
Yeah.
Go ahead and boost the algo, but please, you guys, that joke has been made numerous of times.
Yeah.
Or I'll go.
Sush commented on one of my posts today, and he was like, Vical stringer boosts cum load by like 50%. That kind of shit is funny.
Like 5 ounces. I said 5 ounces. 5 ounces of extra cum.
And if you, so you, like
get creative with it.
If you make fun of it and you say funny shit, then I'll actually laugh. But it's like if it's the same thing that I've read at this point probably 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Then it's like, boost 10 pounds of
guys,
muscle. Yeah.
Or it's the corny ass. Harder than last time. You know the Greg Doucette, like harder than last time. So it's like more.
But I feel like that's only Greg's
no,
thing.
but I
see that on my post a lot.
Bro, I see it on your comments, bro. Even on my comments, it's like,
oh shit. Really?
I don't know. Like for example, it'd be like more Anadrol than last time, or like more PRs than last time.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, that shit is not funny. Or you go on Derek's website or Derek's YouTube.
I think some of Derek's comments
are fucking funny, but it's too much. Sometimes there's like, oh, my new cycle is 500 milligrams of algo and 100 milligrams of rhythm.
But some people do get really creative with it.
Yes.
And that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm going to laugh at that just simply because it was so creative.
Yeah.
But if it's just like the same thing.
If I know that you didn't come up with it just because I've seen it a million times, it's like, bro, like I know you just kind of want some likes and which I get, likes on a comment is awesome, but
I think it's they get to the video so early, like, oh fuck, I gotta comment something.
500
they don't want to spend time to think of something funny because they want be the first comment people see and get the likes, so they do the copy and paste.
And that's not to say that like you gotta to comment on our shit, you gotta come up with some Einstein equations that's gonna like make us laugh. Literally, I like reading the comments where it's just like, bro, you're looking big, or just like actual compliments, or even if it's just like fire emoji. Or like strong emoji. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Talk about something from the video. Like there's things I get on people's comment sections and no one's discussing.
Yeah, but I'm talking about pictures.
Pictures, okay.
I'm talking about pictures. Like if I post a picture and someone's like looking classic, bro, I'm like, thank you, man.
Yeah, those are nice.
Right? But if someone just says like, yo, that young LA tank adds 10 pounds of muscle, it's like, just compliment me.
It's like, bro,
because I've already seen that.
You just want my heart. You just want my pin. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Unoriginal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I can tell when you guys are really
hunting the pin.
Really wanting the pin or the reply. It's like super brown nosy. Like, bro, trust me, I totally get that you really like me and all, but don't fuck. You don't have to.
It's always the like, yo, like pin this if Vical is the best company ever, and it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, bro.
Or pin this, dude. I've seen this probably once a week. It's like pin this if you love your followers, or like, it's like, dude, like, okay, I'm going to pin it because I don't want to look like a dick.
Yeah,
but it's
I
like,
wouldn't because if I don't pin that and you think that means I don't love you, then I don't know what to say to you, man. That's just silly, Like I will intentionally not pin it if I see like pin this if, because it's just like, it's almost just like, bro, you kind of just using my comment section to try to filter people over to your own page.
Yeah.
And there's nicer ways to do it. I don't care if people do that. If they leave a positive comment, just like looking big, man, and they know that people are going to see it and therefore click on their page, that's totally cool. But if you're going to try to do it through some skeevy means, I can't respect it.
Yeah. Honestly, when I'm like, I do that shit with like Greg Doucette's posts. Like I call him Gregory and I'll like just say like.
Just comment something funny.
Yeah. I'll like literally comment like the dumbest shit. Like he had one where it was like such a blurry photo and I was like, Greg sloshed. Like that was it. And it had like 1,000 likes. It was just like a funny pic.
Yeah.
But fuck, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something about I don't even remember.
Man, fuck that topic.
Yeah.
Next topic.
Next topic.
Because
the corny jokes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, we were kind of just like, yo, guys, we don't want to, like, we like your jokes.
Yo, there's something else, because I just saw this, because there's a whole list of things that we, like, keep meaning to talk about. It's so long, bro.
Oh, wow.
But we just keep not getting to it. But this is something that, bro, I fucking hate this. When...
You just like do a whole like pet peeve thing, like
it's
everything we fucking hate.
Super a pet peeve. I sound like such like an uptight hater right now, but honestly, this is the podcast where I'm just getting it all out of my system so I can be more positive on the future ones.
Air it out, bud.
Bro, when a girl gets drunk and intentionally acts like she doesn't have autocorrect on her phone and types all retarded.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh,
I know who you're talking about.
Who? I'm not talking about one person specifically. I see this shit so often.
Oh, then never mind. I don't know.
No, I see. It's usually from what I've seen.
No, guys do it too, though.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's usually a girl, but when a guy does it, it's even more cringy for some reason. Because it's like, bro, why are you doing that?
No, dude.
Yeah, literally, it's like you're my homie. I know that and the reason I know it is because I've been drunk before, and I've been really drunk before. And I can still send a legible text because I'll have to sit there. Okay, here's what happens. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, chances are you have autocorrect turned on your phone. So if you write some random letters, the autocorrect algorithm is so good at picking it up that it's at least going to turn it into a word, even if it's not the word you were looking for.
Yeah.
So if you're drunk and you're texting, usually the mistake will just be a random word that doesn't belong there. And then you'll know, oh, this person is drunk because like this sentence doesn't really make sense, you know? But all the words will be like legible. So usually it's like a grammatical mistake or something like that where I just sound like a fucking idiot. But when it's like, it's like, I know you're trying to do that. You actively had to make the conscious decision to do that. Stop.
Honestly, the whole like
public service announcement.
I feel like that's just like a kind of like a high school college thing. But for like high school, dude, I promise you, you're not fucking sick if you drink, and you're not sick if you smoke.
Look at me, I'm so drunk I can't type correctly.
Guys, I promise you, because I know that a lot of you guys are in high school. It's not hard. Like you're not dope if you drink, bro.
No.
Trust me, drinking is fun. I like in high school, I love to drink, but don't flaunt it because no one is like. No, I promise you, no one is looking at you and going, "Yo, this guy's fucking sick." Like when they see your Snapchat story, bro, and it's you and your boys, you guys are just like you're blatantly like trying to show that you're drinking. Like you can put on your Snapchat story that you're hanging out with your fellas, but like you're blatantly like being like kind of nonchalant, but it's like pretty clear what you're doing. It's like
motherfuckers love to put a sticker
I think that's
over,
okay.
like, the bottle.
Because like I know, and you can still clearly see what it is.
What the fuck you're drinking? Why are you hiding it?
But like if I was at a party with you and I had like a beer in my hand.
No.
I wouldn't like put it down.
That's different. That's different than us being like taking a pic and being like.
Yeah. But if I was at a party with you and I'm drunk and I'm like, picture with my buddy.
Yeah.
I would just hold the beer up. Not because I'm trying to like flaunt it. But like that's cool. But when people, when they're clearly trying to like, here's my beer.
Yeah.
It's like, cool, man. Yeah, that's alcohol. A lot of people drink that.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's a good one because I had that's been on my mind too. It's just like, dude, it's like we get it. And I don't really see it anymore now because I think people have grown out of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, we're fucking 20, 21 years old. People drink, guys.
And no, it's mostly like high school people that I see. But
I still have had recently somebody hit me up and they were mistyping. I don't know if it was truly because they were fucking gone or what, but
maybe they don't have autocorrect on their phone.
I mean, they never made a spelling error before in their life.
I don't know. It is usually mostly high school people, but sometimes it's college people or people older than me, bro. If it's someone older than me, you got to reevaluate your life's decisions, man.
Like in high school?
If you're old, I'm sorry. If you're older than me and you're a guy and you intentionally mistype when you're drunk,
cringe.
You need a spiritual awakening.
The guys are watching this and in the back of their mind, they're like, fuck. But on the outside, they're like, yeah, dude, fuck those guys. But then they're watching and they're like,
they're about to change their whole behavior.
Yeah.
No, I 100% full transparency. I will admit that when I was like 15, 16,
I'm sure I did it.
I'm sure I did it a few times.
Yeah.
Like I know there had to have been at least like once where I was like, oh, I'm gonna like let this person know that I'm like fucked up, and I'm gonna. It would mostly be like I'll make a mistake accidentally, but I'll notice the mistake, but I won't fix it. That's usually what it was. Like, oh, I mistyped that word, but I won't fix it because I fucked up.
What I would do, I would outright say it. And honestly, I would rather have you outright say it. Like, I would fuck up a text
on purpose.
Yeah, and then be like, or it might just be a totally perfect text, and I'll just be like, yo, I'm really fucked up right now. Like, I would literally just say that just because in case I do say something fucking dumb or like fucking retarded where it's like super stupid, doesn't make sense.
Or it's not, maybe it's not even because they're trying to show off that they're drunk, but because like obviously just simply getting drunk isn't cool, but like they're trying to like be funny because they know that the person receiving it's going to be like, you're so fucked up, man. That's so funny. You don't even know how to type, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not funny. It's not funny.
Wait, were you
Stop doing it?
Were you big? Okay, I'll admit it. Like, dude, I was like a pretty big, especially in college and high school. I drank a lot. Were you a big drinker or what?
I was actually not a drinker whatsoever, and I've never been drunk before in my life.
You've
I've had
never
a couple
been drunk
drinks before.
Way.
I've never been drunk before.
Dude.
Want to get fucking hammered right now?
Bro, we have 2 beers. We have 2 Coronas. we have two Coronas.
I'd probably get
we only have 2?
No, yeah, you would
get.
you would probably get drunk off 2
Well, you
Coronas.
wouldn't get drunk, but you get buzzed.
You get very like
You'd
probably
get
be like 4
heavy-
or 5
heavy
to
buzz.
us. Yeah.
Well, I would say I wasn't like the most popular dude, went to all the parties, but when I did go, I would just smoke for the most part.
Yeah.
If I was going to do something,
Big
I never
smoke
drank.
guy.
And I will say, at the time, bro, because there was a couple, I could think of a couple kids from my school that, especially every weekend, they're posting on their Snapchats, they're at parties, they're drinking, they're getting lit. And at the time, like, dang, they're cool. They probably got so many friends.
Yeah.
Now that we're graduated, they're posting the same thing. I'm like, oh, you're a fucking
Yeah,
loser,
you're
bro.
still
Like, this is
doing that.
all you have.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Live for the weekend. That
Yeah,
sucks.
I know. Living for the weekend. That's a good point, bro. That's a good way of putting it. But it's like, if you're graduated college at this point, it's crazy to think that I would be at that stage. I dropped out, or I'd be in my last year right now, and like seeing people that are my age, and they just only live for the weekend. It's like, bro, like do something. Fucking take up a hobby. I mean, who am I to talk? I don't have any good hobbies.
That's true.
But I do have lifting, and at least it's like, it's a somewhat noble hobby where it's centered around self-progression and constantly making improvement, even if it is only physical improvement. But just living for the weekend just so you can get fucked up, in my personal opinion, can't respect it.
No, it's sad.
It's like I actually do kind of like when like Saturday brunch and the girls like posting their mimosas or posting their screwdriver. I would say that's okay.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
nice.
like it's like the 4 girls like
But if
over
you
the
are-
food and then
Yeah,
they're
that's
like all
different.
Right.
cheersing.
No. But I'm saying living for the weekend.
Yeah.
So it gets to be Sunday night and you're already thinking about next Friday.
Yeah, that's
Then
how
that
I was.
sucks
in school.
because it's like, bro, that's only 3/7 of your life that you're actually living, because that's 3 days out of the 7 days of the week. And then the other 4 days, you're just waiting for those 3 days to
guys.
get back.
So what he's saying is get hammered on Tuesday and Thursday.
Get hammered Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Don't hold
you're
back.
living all
And that
week.
sucks because people start doing that shit and they party every weekend while they're in school, and then they get in the real world and they're working a fucking 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and they can't wait to just get
and then they
fucking
go to the
trashed
bars.
on the weekend.
Yeah, and they go to the bars and then fucking. Dude, I can't believe you've never been drunk.
No,
Guys, we just actually booked his flights just now before this podcast started. He's gonna be going to Tulum with us. If you guys didn't
Let's
know,
go. We're going to
fucking go.
Mexico.
yo, we should definitely film a pod in Tulum.
That would be sick.
Fuck
It would
yeah.
be pretty hard to get all this shit.
We would
with
probably
us?
just need. I don't really know what we'd need. Honestly,
I don't know.
But
maybe we could just
we could buy
get
some smaller like, USB
We could
mics.
get-
It just
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
be quite
yeah.
the quality.
Yeah.
No big
yeah,
deal.
a Tulum vlog, dude. Kenny will be there. Madrid will be there. All of their flights are booked. Gary was nice enough to pay for them. And
shout out Gary.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Gary, bro.
So that is gonna be super sick. But we're gonna definitely, because we're all gonna be shredded.
You're probably gonna be drinking a bit, but
you're gonna get,
oh, dude, oh my god,
trashed.
Hold on, excuse me. If you fucking get shredded before Mexico and then you have a night out of drinking with us, you will be the most confident person in the world the next morning because you will be so fucking dry. Little known fact, that's actually what Ronnie Coleman did before. Yeah. I think it was like the 1998 Olympia or something.
Yeah,
it might have been the first Olympia he won, but
the previous one he got second or third.
Okay,
and then the
next one,
yeah,
it was the night before the show, and he was good friends with Flex Wheeler, and he was up in Flex Wheeler's room, and they were just chatting it up, having a good time, getting in their last meals before the show the next day. And Ronnie Coleman was super just nervous energy. And he's like, oh, this show coming up. And Flex Wheeler is like, man, you need to relax. This is all fun.
I'm pretty sure.
Have some vodka.
I'm pretty sure the goal to it, though, was to kind of sabotage Ronnie.
Oh, really?
I think because Flex was saying that, like, he wanted to I don't know if it was to sabotage him, but it was kind of like, I remember in the interview, he was like, yeah, it wasn't for him to look sick, like
maybe
it was
like get him to like oversleep or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know. It was just something.
Well, I mean, if that's all he said, it wasn't to make him look sick.
Yeah, he didn't know that he was going to walk on stage.
That doesn't necessarily mean that.
Not sabotage.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
but
sabotage.
It literally might have just been what he said, which is you need to loosen up a bit. Let's have some vodka. It won't really affect how you look. And
what it did.
Ronnie, I don't think that
it was
he had really drank before.
It was 6 shots.
Hadn't he not really drank before?
Yeah.
And this was like his first time like really
But he's
drinking.
a big guy though.
Right. But still
250 pounds.
At that point, I feel like when you're that depleted,
true.
The bro science part of me says that when you're that depleted, the alcohol has to like affect you
and
harder.
like zero fat.
Because there's nothing in your stomach.
Yeah.
So it's got to just hit you so hard.
Empty stomach, never drank.
Yeah,
Doesn't
and he
matter how
took
big
like
you are,
6 shots, and depending on how big the shots are, that's a lot of fucking alcohol for never drinking before and being stage ready. And dude, backstage the next day, people were just like, the other bodybuilders were just like, holy fuck, we are so fucked.
Yeah.
Because he peed out all this extra water and he just came in looking so vascular and dry. And obviously we're not at Ronnie Coleman's stage lean. But still, you notice it. The next morning I'll be like, damn, I don't feel so good, but damn, do I look good right now.
So my best friend just did a show, and I was wondering because the night before he was like, bro, I just had 4 shots of vodka.
He probably got that from Ronnie.
Yeah.
He probably got that
His
from
coach
Ronnie.
probably did, yeah.
How'd he do?
He did pretty good. He got 3 medals. He did novice, or he was a novice, so like he placed, I don't know, it's so weird how many fucking different groups there are, but basically he won 3 groups and got 3 different medals.
Damn.
Didn't win overall because they're like 30-year-old motherfuckers and he's like 21, but still.
Was that Travis?
Yes. Shout
out Travis.
Yeah. He's watching this right now.
He looks sick.
Bro, I just realized that I probably won't be able to drink in Tulum.
Why?
I'll be on Accutane.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Fuck.
Well, one night you could do light drinking.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna kill you.
Fuck, guess
It just depends how.
I mean, I got Tudka and Knack on deck, so I got the liver.
Or maybe ask Derek for a liver detox fucking protocol for like the 2 weeks prior. So you come in with the golden standard of liver, and then you just 1 week of debauchery.
Yeah.
And then another cleanse when you get home.
I'll just chill with the orals.
I've been waiting on this question. So because I feel like we have like a similar personality type.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, I don't know if personality has anything to do with it. Maybe it's just complete genetics, but like, how did weed affect you at parties? Because I don't know if you heard me on one of the podcasts, I talked about how weed affected me. And I was basically only doing it because other people were doing it.
Oh,
but
really?
it never really, like 50% of the time it was good, but 50% of the time it like wasn't so good.
I have something to add.
And at some point I was just like, why would I do something that has a 50-50 shot of making me kind of like have a worse night when I know if I don't do it, there's a guaranteed chance that I'll have a pretty good night.
Yeah,
you know?
so I would only ever smoke socially. So sometimes it's just 3 friends getting together. Sometimes it's my friend has a house party and I'd go. And dude, I would get fucking blazed. But like we'd go outside, pass around a fucking blunt, and then I go inside. My friend had a pen. Probably one of those pens that weren't really good for you, like probably a little bootleg pen. But I'd be like,
popcorn lungs.
I'd take a couple rips, bro, and honestly, all it really did was like, yeah, I'm high, and like, you know, when you're high, you're just like kind of zoned out, but zoned in on certain shit. Like,
zoned in on certain shit. For me, that was kind of annoying.
Mainly, dude, I would just get fucking hungry as shit. So I'd go raid his kitchen. I'd be back and forth in his kitchen and downing waters because my mouth would get dry.
Wait, so real quick, why didn't you, when you were trying to bulk, were you like smoking weed?
No. MK.
Why not? Because you had MK already, so you were like, fuck it?
December and January I had MK. Before that, because that was during high school and I liked weed. But then all of a sudden, bro, this came out of nowhere. It's like one time I smoked, had a good time. The next time I smoked, I fucking hated how I felt. I felt out of control. I just didn't like it. Tried it a couple times after that and just hate it. So since then, I'm like, I don't smoke. I don't smoke anymore.
Bro. I don't really smoke at all.
Don't ever want to do it again.
We actually got, I don't know if I mentioned this in the pod, the Delta 8 THC.
Oh, yeah.
That has me curious.
A lot of people were saying, so yeah, there's
we should have mentioned that, but yeah, you guys were saying that and we ordered it.
A lot of people were saying Delta 8, Delta 8, Delta 8. And finally I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I looked it up and apparently it's like the thing about THC, which is Delta 9 THC, that's what's commonly known as THC, is it's so 50-50 with people. Like with some people it affects them well, but with some people it really doesn't affect them well. But with Delta 8, it doesn't get you as like head high. It is still like head high, but there's no associated feelings of like paranoia, anxiety, anything like that. It's also not as strong, but frankly, I don't really care. I don't care if it's as strong. I'd rather have it half as strong and on top of that, have no paranoia or anxiety or like, you know, other just weird mannerisms.
That might be an unreal sleep sup.
Yeah.
Like just a relaxing.
And if that affects us well, that's probably going to be.
Where is that at, bro?
It's stuck in... Bro, it's been stuck in shipment. Like they shipped it out.
Was it international?
No. It's legal. It's legal.
Oh.
Fully legal. I ordered it online. I checked the tracking. I'm like, did these people scam me? No, they shipped it out, but USPS, I think they lost the package.
I will say using
I
don't know if Delta 8's different from Delta 9, but I will say because some people use weed for sleep like every night. I will say using it for sleep every single night
bad idea.
Isn't good because you smoke it, you go to sleep, and everyone's like, oh, I had great sleep. Yeah, it's because your brain immediately goes into deep sleep, and your whole sleep is deep sleep.
And you don't
need that REM sleep.
Or you do have like two REM cycles on average, but when you normally sleep, you have like 6 or 7 or something. Yeah, or like 5 or 6, something like that. But bro, have you noticed that when you smoke, because I remember when I used to smoke like a good amount, I would sleep hard, and I'd wake up and feel like I was just in a coma. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't necessarily good sleep. Well rested, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't well rested. It was heavy sleep, but it wasn't well rested because my brain was still just like, man, what the fuck is going on? It's almost like my body was well rested, but my brain wasn't, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And after a while, I think it might have been another fucking podcast, but it was a sleep guy, and he was like, after a while, your brain's going to like demand that you get more REM sleep. So that might be like being half awake during the day type shit. Or if you come off and you try to sleep, it's going to be all REM sleep. It's going to be dog shit sleep.
Yeah.
Bro.
So but you're going to have crazy dreams.
Yeah.
Dude, have you noticed the dreams on MK? I'm sorry. I've cut you off like 15 times.
I'm really just trying to fucking say this.
Right,
but it's okay because it's a long story. So
Go ahead.
Well, no. So when I was home, I was going to say, I finally figured out my edible dose, my THC dose, because you guys were saying, oh, bro, do this. Everyone was a fucking weed scientist. Everyone knew. So I went home. I was in Georgia this last week. And so I had edibles in my reach. So
I got to pee so bad.
Okay, go ahead. You've already heard this, so it doesn't matter. So I used 5 milligrams. No, first time I did 10. So... Oh, shit. It was 10 milligrams of THC, of straight THC. Mm-hmm. And, dude, I was like, I don't know if you heard, but I was like on 65 one time. And I was like tripping, dude. Like, terrible.
Was that what you were talking about?
At the airport with John Skywalker.
Yeah, John gave you the edible.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, bro, I'm not going 65. I'm going 10. Let me just test it out. I'm going 10 milligrams.
What was that?
Bro, it was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, it was fucking dope. I was on 10 milligrams, and, dude, like, there was about like a 30-minute window where I got a little bit anxious and a little bit insecure about like my acne, and I was like editing a photo. I was like, damn, I look like shit. It was like really 30 minutes. I was really insecure, but like the hour before and like the 2 hours after was fucking awesome. Like I went up in my room and I was watching YouTube and I was laughing my ass off at like a video, which I've never done. I've never laughed like alone like that. So it was dope. And then the next day I took an edible, but it was injected with CBN, I think it is. I think it's called CBN, which is like a sleep thing. So it was like I took 5 milligrams of that, and then the within CBN, whatever the fuck, dude, I conked out, passed out, was high for like 30 minutes, and then I fell asleep. And then the next morning, I went to the airport, and I was like, okay, this is the true test, because I'm going to go to an airport somewhere that's like a high-stress environment where I'm going to go, and I'm going to take edible. So I had 5 milligrams.
On the way to the airport?
Yeah, on the way to the airport. And honestly, it was fucking, like, I enjoyed myself. Like, I was in the line at security, and I was, like, pretty high. Like, my eye. Like, for me, dude, the first thing is, like, my eyes get super dry and puffy. So, like, that kind of did make me a little bit insecure, because I was like, fuck. Like, am I going to get, like, in trouble because my eyes were so red? But I was just like, whatever. And it honestly was awesome. Like 5 milligrams was probably like the sweet. Like, dude, I know I know a lot of you guys are in the comments, bro, I take 300 milligram edibles. You're a fucking pussy, bro. Dude, honestly, for me, 5 milligrams had me feeling really good. 10, I would have to be like in my own house. Like, like probably.
5's great.
Yeah.
5's great.
5 milligrams was perfect for me. 10, I was pretty baked, but like I didn't really, like I would have to be here like with the homies. Yeah. But like 5 to go do something. Okay. So yeah, that's my new experience with THC.
Yeah, and dude, I saw one comment on when we were talking about our weed experience, because we were both saying that we don't fuck with weed anymore that much, and I basically had like a mental breakdown on a 30 milligram edible.
Wow.
Which to some people is like, some people were saying, dude, that's so fucking much. Yeah. Other people were saying, oh, you guys are pussies. And then he had a mental breakdown on like, what was it, 65?
65.
Yeah, that would not be good for me.
It obliterated me.
But some guy was like,
if you guys haven't heard those stories, we talk about it on episode. I don't know, a past episode where there's psychedelics.
It says it in the title. Yeah.
Smoking with John Skywalker.
Yeah. That one. But there was one guy that was like, I don't know exactly what he said, but he's like, you Americans, you can't handle your weed. We have 400 milligrams here in the UK.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, dude. Like, what do you want me to say to that?
That goes back to like the smoking and drinking thing and flexing that you're smoking and drinking. It's like, bro, sick.
Yeah, but I think I actually responded to him. I'm like, dude, you know weed affects everyone differently. Like, there's some people that can take a huge amount and it just simply doesn't affect them that much. And then there's other people like us that we take a not so big amount.
And I think we're probably the majority.
Yeah. And it's like pretty fucking high.
Yeah.
I think my thing is like, maybe back then I just didn't have like the work ethic or the aspirations I do. But now one thing that I really don't like when I'm high is
no motivation.
Yeah, I feel a lack of motivation. I just feel like I'm not high functioning and I get terrible anxiety because I always have this little level of anxiety, especially if I'm not currently like editing or filming or at the gym or getting ready for the gym, like or I could eating be doing or something. Like I'm like I could be doing something. Yeah. When I'm high, that like multiplies it by like 100. It fucking sucks.
You know what? I think that's actually true because I think there were times where I would smoke and because I remember there were times where I'd smoke and all of a sudden I would clean my room because I would get that exact same thing and I'd be like, why did I do this? I'm not high functioning. So now there's something that I could be doing, but I can't because I'm not like, I can't do my homework right now, you know? Yeah. So I would do the next best thing, which I knew I could do, which is just clean my room. So it's like, and
maybe you just have like a task on hand. Like for me, because I was editing a photo and I was like pretty good.
Well, that's different, but that I feel like I could do that high. But like doing calculus homework, no shot.
True.
But the fuck was I gonna say? Oh, did you ever notice that you got like brain fog on it? Because I used to get, I would get like days long brain fog, especially if I was smoking often. Not used
to, but the past couple, and it might just depend on very strain by strain type thing. But a recent time I did it, I just was literally like, oh, I'm home for the day, I'm chilling. I took a couple hits of like whatever the fuck I had, a little bit I had, never had any since. But dude, like the rest of the day, I felt like the brain fog, which was the same kind of brain fog I had for a couple days after having COVID, because that's one of the side effects for a couple days is like brain fog. And it sucked. I feel like, dude, I'm not getting shit done. Anything that makes me feel like a loser just destroys me mentally. Yeah. Like I don't know if it's like a deep down insecurity type thing or like I want to be doing the best at all times.
No, dude, I don't. And if that is an insecurity, then I want to be insecure.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Because I think that's a good insecurity to have. That's just like success mindset. Why wouldn't you want that? You know,
Bro.
Like I want to be thinking, what can I be doing with my time right now to get shit done? Go ahead.
I don't know what brain fog is, But I don't know if anyone can relate. Let me know if you guys have in the comments. But, dude, there were times where I'd get super high and super drunk. And then the next day, I'd be driving, and I'd be like, I don't know if this is real. But obviously it's real, you know? But I had like this weird sense of like, am I really seeing that right there? It was, and it would just come and go really quick. And
what, like a rock on the road or something?
no, just, yeah, anything, like a fire hydrant, bro. And I would just be like, is that really there?
Oh, are you like hallucinating and seeing it?
Yeah, no. It's so hard to explain, but actually a buddy of mine.
It's almost like, is that a figment of my imagination?
No. It was like, it's so hard to explain because, but I know people are listening to this and going, yes, bro, because I had a buddy who tried to describe it to me, and I was like, bro, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But just try to explain it. So it's not like you were thinking, is that a figment of my imagination?
It's not like, oh, is that a hallucination? But it's just like, is this real time? Like, is this actually, like, am I in this situation right now, or am I doing something else? Like,
this is like a memory.
Yeah. It's almost like, is this? It's like,
feel like
is this a simulation? Oh, it's more like, is this a simulation? Is this real? Mm-hmm. Is this a simulation? But it's not like, oh, is my life a simulation?
Like right. It's just like, is
that specific moment right now?
Am I actually like dreaming, or am I doing something else and just having an out of body experience?
Yeah, and it would usually happen when I was driving. Like if I was in a passenger seat, or if I was driving, I'd be like, yo, am I really seeing that right there?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if I'm talking out of my ass, but I had a buddy who just got like, dude, he was so fucking high. I think he did coke that night too. The next day he had that thing where he was like, I don't know if anything's real. And I was like, bro, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I like took him to McDonald's and we ate and talked about it. But yeah.
Yeah. Before we get off the topic, I will say, while I hate weed now, my first ever time getting talked into going and training at a gym, very beginning, first time going into the gym I ended up training at for a little bit in high school, I was high as fuck. It was one of my first times being high too. It's because before that, my friends started going to the gym, like Travis and a couple of my other buddies, and they kept telling me to, and they're like, can you come to the gym with me? And I was so fucking insecure because before that, like I said on the last time I was on here, I thought, oh, that's for douchebags. Yeah. If I go, I'll get picked on because I'm skinny. Right. So I started doing like, oh, let me give me a couple weeks. So I would do like push-ups, like lunges, little squat jumps in my room.
That's good though.
Yeah,
then that gives you like,
because I wanted a little base before and a little confidence before I went there. Yeah. But then we left high school and we smoked a little bit, and I was high, and they were like, let's go, and I was like, oh, okay, let's go to the gym. I remember benching the bar. I'm like, I don't know how many I've done. And just like, it was such a blur. But then after that, I started going with them because like I realized there's no one there that's gonna like make fun of me or anything. So
yeah. And there's like, especially like commercial gyms, and this is not to put anyone down, it's just like factually true that like most of the people at commercial gyms are just like normal looking people.
Yeah,
like
it was even better for me because it wasn't even a commercial gym. It was our small town hospital had a little gym / rehabilitation. So it had like a bench, dumbbells, lat pull down cable machine.
There's like this 90-year-old guy in there.
Yes, it's just old people on the treadmills, or old people doing like ones, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? What was I scared of?
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely like, if you guys are worried, maybe you haven't started lifting, or you're like worried about being looked at, there's a big difference between going to like a hardcore powerlifting gym.
The first time I would cry.
Yeah,
Species.
I would run out. Bro, because there's hella people at Species. But what's funny is that like in one way, that's a scarier experience, but now being aware of that and knowing what that's like, and being one of those people that a beginner would look at and be like, oh, he's probably judging me. It's just funny for me to realize like the people that look the best are actually going to be the ones that are judging you the least a lot of the time, because they're like, look at this guy.
Good for him.
Good for him. He's getting into the gym. What a guy. That's usually like, I don't notice.
That's how you look at me. He's like, look at you. I'm benching like 225. You're like, you're looking at. Look at
that's how you. That's how James looks at you. No, that's how you look at me.
Yeah. when I see
the constant.
When I see someone who's like skinny as a rail, who's clearly just starting out, I just feel like I have an internal smile, because I'm like, dude, we've all been there. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good for this guy for like getting off the couch and actually going to the gym. So I feel like a lot of these hardcore powerlifting gyms, the first gym I joined, well, I went to Planet Fitness with my mom for like 6 months, but then I joined this hardcore gym down the street called Hard Knocks. And
sounds badass.
It was badass. And it was just like musty and dirty. and there were posters all over the walls of like famous strongmen, powerlifters, bodybuilders that had signed it and had been like, shout out to Dave Knock, best gym in Massachusetts.
Is that the gym that is in like your old YouTube videos?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it was just this small little sweatshop, and it was like all the people that went in there looked like, remember that guy in that SpongeBob episode who's like, I eat nails for breakfast without milk?
Yeah.
They all looked like that.
Damn, you were going to the salty spittoon.
Salty spittoon, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But all of them, bro, sometimes they would give me like, what's the word? Unsolicited advice. But I was craving that. I was not annoyed by it. I'm like, thank you for letting me know. And they were all just like they like wanted to help me because they could tell I was new. And they were totally there for it, you know?
Awesome.
And I feel like almost sometimes at commercial gyms, you might actually get judged a little bit more by people that are kind of insecure themselves and not super into the gym. But if you go to a hardcore place, people are obviously going to tell that you're new. And most of the time, they're either going to keep to themselves and focus on their workouts, or they'll just be really friendly people who are, hardcore bodybuilders, but they'll be like, oh, you look really good for fucking 15. Good job, man. You know, they're always so supportive.
Bro, quite frankly, I love commercial gyms.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because
It's ego boosting
for me. Well,
point.
for one, it's ego boosting because when you reach a certain physique where you don't look you look different than the regular people there. You're walking around and you're like, okay, like I look different than these guys.
I will say when I went home and I was wearing a stringer in the commercial gym, I was like, oh, this is a little different than Alphalete. At Alphalete, I'm like a fucking 3 out of 10, but here I'm like a fucking 7.
Exactly. You're like, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're like times 10 in a commercial gym. But for us, it's a little different. I was gonna say because honestly, any gym is good other than Alphalete because when we switch it up, we get to see new fans, which is something that I want to say, like, I fucking love because one, it's super motivating when like people are coming up to me, bro, like I watch your vids. I love it. Like you help me in the gym, bro. When I go, cause at Alphalete, everyone's already seen us there.
Right.
So if you're going to say something, you've already said something. Yeah. I've already taken a pic with you.
Well, no, I mean, there are some people,
well, there are new guys.
Those are the people who like, shout out to you guys. They will literally drive
you guys
from
drove.
like Austin or something.
Yeah, a guy drove from Dallas today and he's literally driving back as we speak.
Yeah. And
it's 1 a.m.
That's just fucking, I don't know, humbling. Like, it's just weird not weird in a bad way, but I'm just like, damn, that's fucking awesome. Yeah. I don't know what to say. But, you know?
But like, it's so motivating going to a different gym than Alphalete and then seeing you guys be like, oh, dude, like, love your shit. And it's just like, I crave the commercial gym. Like, honestly, we have an LA Fitness like 5 minutes away. I might go there. Also, it's just good to switch up the scene.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you got, like, we were going to get a membership here at LA just for, like, back accessories because you don't really need, like, Alphalete. Like, yeah, Alphalete's a good place and, like, this LA Fitness is a good place. But you can't really, like, get a crazy back workout in, like, a massive pull day, like, especially with the deadlift.
I feel like you could, though. You would just need to bring your own chalk. But I feel like I could get a great pull day in at this local LA Fitness if I brought my own chalk. Because they have the equipment there. They have the weight, you know? It's just, like, the atmosphere isn't necessarily, like, hardcore. But if you can get tuned in with your music and everything, it's pretty good.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's also good to switch up the scene, especially, you know, say what you want, but especially with, like, just different females, like, different eye candy, you could say. Like, you're just, like, there's new people to look at, and there's new people to, like, oh, I'm going to, like, look big for like, these people. Like,
even if it's not, like...
I mean, I kind of... go on.
Even if it's not girls, like, just seeing a completely different environment with completely different humans than the people you see every day at your other gym is just kind of interesting, just to be like, I wonder what that guy's all about.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just like Alphalete because I feel like I fit in there because a lot of the people there are like pretty big. And when I go to like a commercial gym,
I need to cancel my membership.
I almost feel like putting on like an oversized tee because
you guys getting fit shamed at LA Fitness.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
you get looks.
I don't like. Obviously, I'm not actually I'm gonna wear a stringer regardless. But sometimes I'm just like, that's unfortunate. Like, I'm definitely getting judged right now. It's not enough to actually make me change my behavior, but it's just like, damn.
Do you think it's Raider judge?
Yeah, probably. Or just like, oh, this guy's a meathead. He's probably stupid.
I mean, they're just beta, though. Like, you can't let it get to you that
No,
bad.
no. I mean, I don't let it get to me bad enough to actually do anything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a passing thought. Versus at Alphalete, I know that it's like, oh, good for this guy, he's fucking big. You know, people aren't really judging an athlete because if you go to a gym like that, you're respecting the good physiques there.
And mostly, I would say almost everybody at Athlete knows that we go there for and we are doing our living.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's a little bit different.
Yeah. But real quick, Kenny, because this is something that I wanted to talk to you about.
Are you guys about to get into conspiracy shit or what?
Uh-oh.
It's not conspiracy. This is
Shadow ban.
Because now I might go pee real quick.
Go pee.
I might get some more tea.
This is mainstream news, baby. It's not so mainstream, actually. It's getting censored on Twitter. But I'm glad that you haven't
Be careful
looked.
what you say.
Oh, I will be.
I won't. No, I'm just kidding.
No. As long as we don't get into any of the interdimensional child molesters, we should be good. But
That's my favorite shit.
I know. But, I mean, Alex Jones talked about it on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about like how, for example, the Nazis utilized psychedelics and they thought or may have been talking to interdimensional things that were like, hey, you do these fucked up, evil, satanic things, we're going to teach you how to make a fucking flying saucer.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And that's just like history.
That is just history. So this is actually a history lesson. History lesson part 2 is Operation Paperclip, where we actually brought a lot of those Nazi scientists over to the U.S. Thousands of them. Many, many, many Nazi scientists. And there is a theory floating around among conspiracy nuts that
loonies.
A lot of, obviously anyone who's had a powerful psychedelic experience, such as on DMT, where you're completely out of body, you meet entities that seem like they're not figments of your imagination. They seem like you are meeting something that is distinctly not you.
Yeah, you have people and people are like, oh, it's part of your brain. What is this? You have people that go out on these group ayahuasca or DMT trips. They all see the same fucking entity.
Yeah, that's harmine. They called it harmine and this is from, if you guys have seen the Joe Rogan, Alex Jones podcast.
Alex Jones Returns.
2. Yes, they touch on this a bit, but these people will go on these retreats because you can go, if you want to do it the proper shamanistic way, you can actually go on a DMT retreat and you go take ayahuasca, which is a tea, not a very good tasting one, but it's a tea that contains, we could do that.
For a vlog?
I'd be down. Yeah. I'd definitely be down. And it's like a proper setup thing. You can only get there by boat. And there's a little tribe with the shaman who gives you the tea. And these people will go on a group trip to go do ayahuasca, and they'll all see the same hallucination at the same time. I'm not saying this is proof of anything.
Yeah.
But this is not one single time that this has happened, and these people, maybe they lied about it. This has been many, many times of many different groups of people. Some of these groups are not even necessarily people that all know each other. Because sometimes if there's one group of 4 and one group of 3, and they need to be 7 people on the boat, they'll just take both groups. And they will do it together, and they will all see the same thing. And if it's an internal hallucination, you're not going to all see the same thing and react to it and be like, whoa, what's that? All at the same time. Yeah. As if someone walked into if someone walked out here, all of us would turn around at the same time.
The only way to be on that side and believe that is to believe that there is some sort of unable to be seen with current scientific shit. Like, say we're all together right now. Somehow our subconscious and our brains are all linked in a way that we don't know. There's no way to see. And it's like, oh, yeah, y'all saw that because of that link, but like that's unable to be proven.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so you're talking about the ayahuasca trips and all of them are seeing the same shit?
Like the entities,
at the same time.
Okay, yeah.
And they're all like reacting to it.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like, whoa.
Dude, I want to do something like that. That'd be so sick.
And I was saying that if like...
You guys are all going through the same trip. It'd be dope.
Yeah, well, if it's an internal hallucination, you're all going to see different things at different times because it's all happening in your head. But at least from the reports from these groups, many groups, I was saying that if like Madrid walked through here right now, we'd all kind of turn and look at him, right? And that's because that's something that is distinctly not not in our heads. That's like something else. It's outside of our minds. So it's the same thing with these hallucinations that people all see at the same time. And they actually originally were going to call, they narrowed it down basically to one compound called harmine, because like harmony. But they were originally going to call it telepathine because it seemed like it was almost this telepathic experience that people were having. So really interesting stuff. And I could see how maybe people that don't have the best intentions could possibly try to use that to their advantage if they were under the impression for one reason or another that these were in fact other beings.
I mean, our own fucking government tried to load people up with psychedelics and try to brainwash them.
MK Ultra.
Yeah. They tried to use it to hypnotize, which I feel like, honestly, if anything, it would do maybe not the opposite, but if you're going to load someone with psychedelics, they're probably going to have like some sort of crazy perspective shift thing. Most likely, it's not the best way to control them. There's probably other drugs, other things you can do.
They actually, a lot of the MK Ultra stuff actually had the opposite effect of what they wanted because they were looking into psychedelics for mind control, but they ended up finding out that people were actually more likely to break away from being controlled by an outside source because they had this internal revelation.
Yeah.
But some of the things that they did in MK Ultra were really fucked up. Like so did you know, have you heard of MK Ultra?
I've heard of it, but I have no fucking clue.
Basically, it was just a government operation.
I know about the mind control thing, but I don't know anything about like
It was mainly just
details.
studying psychedelics effects and their potential use for mind control. And back then, the government just kind of did what the fuck they want when it came to that kind of stuff. So there was no like ethics board or anything like that. They just fucking went for it. And in one case, they gave someone a heavy dose of, I think, LSD, and they kept him in a room, I think sleep deprived, for like days, and on a recorder repeated like the same chant to him over 250,000 times.
Holy shit, that's so evil.
Like really, really fucking weird. And he was like explaining it all this time later because they interviewed some of these people that had like been a part of MK.
So what happened?
Well, I mean, we don't really know what the long-term outcomes of that were, but they got a lot of data on a lot of shit. And then whatever they decided to do with that data, we're not entirely sure.
I mean, in my opinion, I would say the fucking shit on TV is 10 times more hypnotic than some
100%.
LSD or something.
Oh,
so
bro.
they probably realized that pretty quick.
What did you want to talk about the Asian hate thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was kind of getting into that, but I don't know if you saw. It's so funny because of what you said earlier on the podcast, which I'll get into. But if you guys know what Project Veritas is, it's kind of an independent news source. It's been smeared a lot in the media as being like a conspiracy news source, but they actually do a lot of like field work. Like they recently
similar to InfoWars, because I know what InfoWars is.
InfoWars is like more conspiratorial and kind of theorizing about what's going on. Project Veritas is more like
Facts and shit.
like literal evidence, like video evidence.
Okay.
Recently they went to the migrant detention centers in Texas and got like some undercover people in there with like little video devices. And that's some of the best evidence of the horrible conditions that these people are in.
Was it fucked?
Super fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Super fucked. So the migrant detention centers are actually now at full capacity. So they're putting these kids sleeping on the dirt with like tinfoil
blankets in these fucking cages, bro.
Bro, I heard blankets. My mom was telling me that the immigration is the most it's ever been.
Oh,
like
yeah.
the highest it's ever been.
Flooding,
and like
bro.
they're like females are coming in pregnant.
Yeah.
They're gonna have these kids. What's it called?
They'll become citizens.
Yeah,
when they have them here?
the dreamer baby or whatever the fuck.
Something like that.
Well, yeah, you get like
instant citizenship.
Yeah, instant citizenship because you get like U.S. born privilege or whatever,
Yeah.
and you become like an instant citizen. And then there's also there's no checks from what I've seen. There's no real checks on like some guy will come across with some young girl, and he'll just say, "I'm this girl's dad," and they'll just.
I mean, yeah,
right
the cartel are literally using babies so they can all get across. That's why there was in the news this cartel was being chased on a boat by Border Patrol, and they had a baby on them. They threw the baby into the water so they would go try to rescue the baby and they could escape in the boat.
No way.
Yeah.
On camera?
I don't know if it's on camera, but it was in the news.
Holy shit.
But there's like videos of these literal videos of like buses coming into these detention centers, and it's like a lot of these people are not related, and that's not news. That's just the way it's always been. That's how human trafficking works. And if there's no checks, if there's no real checks on these people, then what do you think is going to happen? And actually when, and this was weeks ago, what I saw was that when Trump was in office, the highest number of kids that were the kids in cages, the highest number at one point was, I think, 2,800, which is a lot. But at that point, this was weeks ago, and the situation's worse now, it was at like 12,000 something. So now we can estimate it's anywhere from like 15 to 20 plus thousand. And it's probably around 10 times the amount that there were under Trump. And that's just what's being reported. It's hard to know what the real number is.
Damn, and we're headed to Tulum in a couple of months. Just
Yeah.
Send over like 3. We'll trade. We'll just live in Tulum, and then three guys can come move in here.
They'll just take our place.
Yeah.
They'll take our identities.
Yeah.
But it was funny because Tucker Carlson recently got like ripped apart for, I don't know if you saw any of the stuff that he said, but and this has been written about in UN reports talking about replacement migration, where you can change the demographic, you can change the voting demographic of a place by the people that immigrate in there. Oh, and we see this happen all the time in states. I mean, look what's happening to Texas. It's becoming more blue. People are fleeing California and these other liberal-run states, and it's like they're walking off one sinking ship and walking onto a non-sinking ship, but then they're going to vote for the same shit that made the original ship sink. And you can see what happened in Vermont. I think it's Vermont used to be pretty reliably red, and now it's blue, or it's a swing state or some shit, because people go, they want to leave, they don't like what's going on in their state, and they go to a red state, which just so happens to be doing better, and then these people that move vote for the same shit that made their original state fucked. So I don't know what we're going to do when that happens to Texas, but we're going to have to jump ship, maybe head to Florida or something like that.
Yeah, I think Florida's the way to go. Or Georgia, bro. No, Florida's
pretty based as of right now.
Georgia's boring, though.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia.
Fucking, I don't even know what to do in Georgia, bro, and I lived there for 3 years. Jerk off.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy that...
Let's just move out the country, bro.
Dude,
where do we
honestly,
go?
that's the thought. My thought was like
Indonesia. Let's go hang out with
bro.
Let's go hang out with Joe
where
Aesthetics.
this country's heading. I'm just gonna go fucking somewhere else.
Yeah, but where? And that's the thing. I
know.
was talking to my friends about this. It's like, yeah, like the part of the U.S. is kind of turning to shit in some ways, but a lot of these other places are worse. Like you could think, oh, flee to Canada because that's right across the border. But look at what they're fucking doing in Canada, bro. It's like a police state.
I mean,
and a lot of these
is
Dubai,
not one country. It's a plan for the whole fucking world.
Yeah, exactly. So where are you really going to go?
I would just try to find the place where it'll hit last and try to live there while I can. But
I guess
go remote,
or resist and speak truth to power. I think that's how it goes.
The Jewish cult rebellion.
I think that's the way to go because you can run from it for as long as you want, but if this is a global plan, then you can only get so far. You can only run for so long. Damn, I think the best way to do it is you just got to have a spine. You have to stand up and say, you know what? Maybe you will try to fire me from my job. Maybe you will try to expel me from my school, but I know these things to be true. I know it's fucked up for young kids to take hormones and get their penises chopped off. I know it's fucked up to have a million different pronouns. I know these things are fucked up. You're going against nature, and I'm going to stand up and fucking say it no matter what your threats are towards me if I say it. And I think that's the best way to do it because if you get enough people to stand up and actually just fucking resist, it's like the bully at school. That bully's going to bully you because he thinks that you're not going to fight back. But as soon as you do, the bully's going to be like, you know what, I'll go pick on someone else.
That's my hope. That's my hope is that there's enough people that haven't really said anything yet, but once it gets too much bullshit, they're going to stand up. They're going to do something.
Yeah. The thing is, this plan that we see unraveling is so methodical that they've planned on resistance.
It's so long term. It's so slowly indoctrinating people one by one.
Yes, exactly. And they know how to stand up to resistance. They've already got it planned out. They waited very long, and it's all unfolding right in front of us. And back to what I was saying about Tucker Carlson, it's just funny that he pointed out something that the UN had written about, and it's self-evidently true just by looking at people fleeing from U.S. states to other U.S. states, changing the voting demographic, and then therefore changing the state from red to blue. Yeah. California used to be red. It wasn't even that long ago. I mean, can you fucking believe that? California is the most blue state in the country. And then he said, well, if you have a lot of these people coming up to the U.S. through the border that you know will either naturally reliably vote blue or you can convince them to reliably vote blue by saying we'll give you all this free shit and we're the party that really likes you, then you're literally doing the same thing. You're changing the voting demographic. This isn't conspiratorial.
You don't even have to promise them stuff now because, okay, now, yeah, Biden's in office, but beforehand, if I was some random immigrant and I cross the border, I come into Texas and I turn on anything that's not Fox News. I don't even like Fox News, but anything else.
Yeah, Fox
I'd be like,
News
oh, the
trash.
president here is racist and he hates it. He didn't want me to get here.
Right.
I need to vote. I need to get him out of here.
Yeah. Yep. Trump hates all Mexicans and Biden loves you, so vote blue. And it's so right in front of you that you can try to debate that fact all you want. But what Tucker said, he made a really good point, is that Polish people have already survived the Soviet Union. They've already survived communism. They've already survived what happens when the left goes way too far. And he said that if 200,000 Poles showed up at the border trying to illegally get into the country, all of a sudden it would be a fucking crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of those Polish people, they'd vote red, like super red. They would be 100% reliably Republican. But since that's not happening, there's no crisis. There's no crisis at the border, guys. And if you say otherwise, fuck you. That's the way it's going in the media.
Fuck, I hate politics.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, we
start our own country.
Let's go.
Like, I hate politics too, but it's like, that's where you get fucked is you almost have like a social obligation to pay some sort of attention to who is controlling your life and the people that you love.
Yeah, okay, let me rephrase. I don't hate politics. I mean,
no, I wasn't accusing you of saying that.
Okay.
I was just kind of using that as an example of like, I see so many, especially like younger kids, they're like, man, I'm just going to party with my friends. I don't have time to focus on politics. And it's like, I'm not asking you to read through like congressional bills you don't have to read through all the pages. Just pay attention beyond the mainstream media. Like, you almost have an obligation to see what the fuck is going on, because as soon as you do, you realize how deep this rabbit hole goes.
It's a lot to ask for, though. Ask him to like
do something.
You tell them, hey, be involved, pay attention. But mainstream media, like, it's pretty easy to turn on CNN or MSNBC and like stay updated on politics and have this certain thing. It's a whole nother thing to like go out of your way to find independent journalists and independent news sources, especially now when you have big tech companies censoring those, making those harder to find.
I was going to go like this and say MogCast has got you guys. But if you're interested and you want kind of middle of the road, like gives credit to both sides, but from what I've seen is a pretty honest person, I do think that Tim Pool, he has a great podcast, but he also does just short news segments. If you can dedicate 1 or 2 days per week to listen to one of his videos, so I'm talking a 30-minute to 1 hour obligation per week, just to stay updated on whichever headline he uploads that you think stands out the most, where you're like, I want to see more about this, I would appreciate it. I would appreciate knowing that more young people are doing that, because I just see everything fucking crumbling, and it just like, it sucks to see only like 1% of people are pretty, or maybe 10% are like pretty well educated.
I will say when I'm like, it's really unattractive, not in the sense of like men attracted to woman, unattractive in the sense like, I don't want to be your friend when I talk to someone and they have no clue what the fuck is going on
at all.
It's and like, okay, I can't have like any deeper
conversation
with you.
Yeah, and it's like,
I hate to use the term sheep, but it's like, I feel, and this is ego. I just feel like I'm on a different level than you, bro.
Yeah, and it's not even
the wrong things.
I'm based as fuck.
I'm based as fuck, and you're not. You're a beta sheep.
Yo, wait, bro. I wanted to ask what your guys' opinion on
Asian hate.
No, what your opinion on the thing where that, I don't know where it was, but that black soldier, he was in the army. I don't know if he was in the National Guard or what, but he got pulled over. Did you guys see that video?
Yeah,
where he had like
he got pepper spray.
Yeah, he was on. He was in the. Why do I not remember? He was in the uniform, and
he got pepper sprayed, right?
Yeah, he was in the AC. That's what it is, ACUs, or it might have been BCUs. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He was in the ACUs, and he got pepper sprayed, and they had to like pull him out of his car. And I just want to say, listen, first of all, the guy with the cop with the body cam is a fucking idiot. Okay, he was definitely abusing his power. Because you got to think about you go to your school. Think about the guys who say they want to be cops, bro. They're fucking squares and they're nerds. They're weirdo Boy Scouts. Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe if you want to be a cop, okay. Ronnie Coleman was a cop.
Ronnie Coleman's pretty epic.
Yeah. So I take that back. But most of the guys, they're Boy Scout squares. Okay. So these are guys who are living through.
Yo, we just went from like conservative folks to fuck cops.
No, I'm not saying fuck cops at all. I'm not saying fuck cops at all. But you have to think that a lot of them are living through their badge. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So like they love the power that they have because they've never had that. So this cop in particular was a fucking idiot. Okay. But with that being said, this guy's pulled over. He's in ACU, so he's obviously in the military. I don't know what brand, or maybe Army. I don't know.
Okay.
He's like, yo, get out of the car. They have their guns drawn. I don't know why. I don't know the full story. What the fuck
did this guy do?
I think what happened was they tried to pull him over, and because he was on the freeway, this was what he said. Because he was on the freeway, I drove an extra mile to get off and pull off. Okay. Which is like,
it was a high speed chase.
Yeah, the cops probably thought he was running away, but I don't know. Who knows? He was probably going like 70 miles or 60 miles per hour. It's obviously not a high speed chase. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're a cop who loves pulling people over, you're like, yo, why isn't this guy pulling over?
Let's go. We got a runner. We got a runner.
Exactly. So, I mean, this is all speculation, but the body cam's on. He's like, they have their guns drawn. And they're like, and so this guy's obviously freaking the fuck out. He's a black guy. He's in the military. Yo, like, I don't know what the fuck I did. I'm really scared right now. But this is where
what the fuck did they pepper spray him for then?
He wouldn't get out of the car. And this is what I'm trying to say is, I don't care if you're in the right or you're in the wrong or you know your rights. Mm-hmm. Listen, if cops are fucking idiots, okay?
Not all of them. I just want to say human. Like we respect the fucking police. Like
they like their power. Human, yeah. They like their power. So if I don't care if you know your rights. If a cop with a badge tells you to get out of the car, just get out of the car.
Yeah.
And it's they're gonna put you on the ground or whatever they're gonna do, and then you take it up in court, okay? That's what you need to do. You need to listen to the cops, and
most of these cops have body cameras on.
Yes,
I think it's required by law.
Yeah.
So if they are fucking up, and you know for a fact that they're fucking up, obey their stupid orders that you know you're gonna win in court because there's literally video footage.
Yes.
Take it to court, and you can win in the courts. And Tim Poole actually made a good point. Is like, you don't have to go to trial. You get to go to trial in this country. It's a privilege to be able to go to trial. It's our right to fair trial. Which amendment is that? It's in the Bill of Rights. A lot of countries, the cops just won't like you, and you get fucking thrown in the slammer, and you get no trial. Or in Mexico, they're like, we found cocaine in the car. What are you going to do about this?
$1,000
and then
pesos.
You're like, I'll pay you off. And then he's like, oh, no cocaine. Okay, whatever. And you can say, oh, you're stereotyping Mexican cops. I don't give a fuck. That has happened to so many fucking people that I know. It's happened to my dad on a multitude of occasions.
Yeah, my dad too.
You just pay him off. You pay him 40 pesos or whatever, and they go away. In the U.S., you have the privilege of being able to go to trial. And it's like, just obey the police.
Listen, as bad as it sounds, I really don't care. As bad as it sounds, when you see these terrible footages of, guys getting shot unarmed or whatever, and they're on the ground or whatnot, every single time they're saying, I'm not resisting. It's like, I'm not resisting. Bro, by saying you're not resisting and not complying, you're resisting. Like when a guy's telling you like, yo, get on the ground or whatever, like put your hands behind your back, and you're going, I'm not resisting. Bro, right there, you are resisting. Like, you need to just do what they say, dog. And, like I said, I don't care if he's got the badge and he's like, okay, let him have his little power trip and then take it up in court.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if the cops do, if you're...
And I've been pulled over. You gotta be respectful.
If you're not resisting, but you got your hands up and maybe you're just kind of like deer in the headlights and you don't know what to do... Right? And he's saying to do something, but you're kind of frozen with fear because there's a gun pointing at you. I do have sympathy for those people because it's like, in the same situation, I don't know how I'd be. If I got 5 guns fucking pointed at my head, I would probably just fucking seize up and they'd be like, do XYZ. And I'd be like, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to, you know.
And that's
where the cops need to be held accountable. Is if you're abusing your power like that, like we extend that kind of charity to cops when cops make a mistake, where we're like, hey, they're humans too. It was a high pressure situation. We have to extend that sympathy to the people at hand too, because it's a high pressure situation. When you got a gun pointed at you, you might be hearing the words, but nothing's processing because you're literally like about to die, right? So those cops do have to be held accountable. But
and that's what I think happened with the guy in the car. He wasn't getting out of the car because he had 2 guns drawn on him. He was so starstruck. He was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. So they were like, get out of the car. And he was like, I don't know what happened. And then they ended up just pepper spraying him and pulling him out of the car.
How does it get to pepper spray?
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't seen the video.
Yeah, you gotta watch the vid.
I can't comment on it. But if everything you said is true, it's like, yeah, you should just get out of the car.
But he's got 2 guns.
Did he have his hands up?
Yeah, he's got his hands up in the window.
If you're a cop, you have to be well trained enough, and this comes back to like a training issue where they want to defund the left. A lot of them, or a lot of the progressives, want to defund the police, but you actually need more funding so that less of these things happen, because the police
pay them more, bro. You got these fat fucking cops, man.
Yeah, make them go to more training, make them physically fit. I mean, we should have not Navy
more
SEALs.
Ronnie Coleman cops. Get them on gear.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Right, but you shouldn't have.
No, they really have power trips. Fuck you.
Like cops, I'm not saying they need to be special forces or anything, but you need to have a physically fit guy that it has the capability with MMA training that he gets from police training and just lifting in the gym, that has the capability of being able to take down like 99.9%.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is he's got to be able to be good with his hands, so that way he's not instantly going to his taser.
Right, because think if you're this fat out of shape cop that has no training,
that's all you're
gonna be like, holy shit, I got to pull my gun out because I got nothing else.
Yeah.
But if you're someone like fucking Jocko Willink, you know, the most fucking hardened Navy SEAL on the planet, badass. You're gonna know I can kill you in a million different ways. I don't need my gun, so I'm gonna stay cool as the cop. Yeah. And that in turn is gonna de-escalate the situation. But if the first thing you do as a cop, and it's not necessarily the cop's fault, it's more the system's fault. If we're not training police enough and we're letting these fat out of shape cops, and in some, I don't know, this is a whole separate issue, but women being cops and not being able, like, if I see videos, because I've seen it before, of like multiple female cops not being able to take down one man.
I'm about to get based.
I'm about to get sexist.
Yo, we have to be very careful. I think if that's on 2 hours, that only had what?
We're good. 26
hours.
But
what did that have? Like it had 2 hours.
Can you check?
It had 2 hours and 2 minutes.
How many minutes does it say left?
Where would it say that? 17 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll wrap this up soon then.
17 minutes.
This is important. I don't want to cut this off.
When it says 2:17.
Okay. Like, so the cops need more training. If the guy, what I was saying is the cop needs to be able to be well-trained enough. In an ideal world, the cop should be well-trained enough and have the confidence of, if this gets physical, I'm going to win. That it doesn't need to get to the point where someone has his literal hands up and you got to pepper spray him in the face.
But this is
like, what the fuck is the point of that?
But this is very like dystopia, you know, or like perfect society. You know, there's not going to be utopia. Sorry.
Right.
There's not going to be a hella UFC fighters who are like, oh yeah, I'm going to be police officers
But it could easily be that.
I think if you pay them more, if you make it more of a desirable job.
Literally all you'd have to do is increase police funding.
Yeah.
If you increase police funding, you're able to pay your cops more and you're able to give them more training. And that's really all you need. It would solve 90% of the problems. Obviously, there's always going to be asshole cops. There's always going to be asshole humans.
Yeah.
But just more
and there's still going to be those guys who love the power. And that's just human nature. What are you going to do? RoboCops? You got only robots and shit?
Yeah, there's assholes everywhere.
About that. Yeah, but I don't think, like, I've heard all like people are always assholes. I don't think that really applies to cops. I don't think that's. I'm not saying you're using it as that, but that should not be a get out of jail free card, because if anything, we should expect much more from our police than our average person, and they should be vetted. There should be much more background checks when it comes to choosing police than when it comes to hiring someone at a gas station. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's that easy right now, but I'm just saying it should be way fucking harder to be a cop than it currently is. to the point where it's a much more respected job. Think about how hard it is to become a Navy SEAL, because when you're doing the things that Navy SEAls do, you cannot fuck up. These are like the most important things ever.
Super high pressure situation.
Exactly. And honestly, if you're going to send in someone,
cop is super high pressure situation.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because,
if you're going
to, shit can escalate so fast.
Yes.
It's because you don't know when you're a cop, you're going into situations where you only have like a code. Like they're saying, okay, yo, domestic violence call, or like you heard yelling in a house, bro. That could mean a million fucking different things. It could mean, yo, they were just having an argument, or there's a dude in there,
right,
like ready to kill somebody.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be able to. This cop has to be mentally strong
you should
enough.
pass some sort of intelligence.
Yeah,
check
you
test.
need to be mentally strong enough to
understand.
understand. Dude, it's not hard to be a cop, bro. I have friends from college who are cops, and they're fucking stupid.
It should be a hard fucking job to do.
Yeah, it really should. It really should.
If
you want to be stupid, then go be firefighter. I feel like firefighter.
No disrespect to firefighters.
I feel like firefighter. You just have to be like buff,
water fire,
hella endurance, and strong, and just be like,
and no fear. Just
no
fear.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
That's
be a
fair.
cop, you have to be quick thinking.
I didn't, dude. That sounded so bad. I feel so bad. If you're a firefighter, bro, you're a firefighter. That's fucking badass.
And think about it. If
I'm sorry,
when they send in someone to go kill Bin Laden, they're not sending in 20 cops. They're sending in.
Imagine, bro.
They're sending in Navy SEALs. So it's like, well, if you're gonna hire someone to protect American citizens, to protect the public, shouldn't they be not as well trained, but like pretty fucking close? Yeah, you don't have to go through buds, but I'm saying like there should be training like at least every week. And a lot of these jurisdictions, they only require like once a year training or some ridiculous amount. Like it's a certain amount of hours per year that you can get done in one day. You should be fucking rigorous training. Like the whole paradigm, the whole like way that we look at being a cop should, in my opinion, be completely changed. Like this is not, oh, your friendly neighborhood cop coming down the street. This is like a Jocko Willink type manly man.
Yeah.
If I got pulled over by Jocko Willink, I would not be worried that I was going to potentially get shot or pepper sprayed or something, because I know like this guy is a fucking badass. He knows he can beat the shit out of me if he needs to. I'm not going to be able to pull a gun on this guy, right? So I'm going to be aware that this guy has the confidence. I'm not worried, right? But if like, you know, someone's just like out of shape and stuff, if they honestly, I'm just being,
I'd be more worried about that guy, bro.
If I've got these fucking jacked arms on the wheel and I see like some fat dude like pull up and he's kind of a dick, I'm gonna low key be like, yes sir, sorry sir, like I don't want to get shot right now.
Yeah, because he's like, holy shit, this guy's fucking buff.
Yeah,
I'm fat as fuck, but I have a gun and a badge. And so I'm gonna be, you know, big dick you.
So
because like I said,
I just want to say shout out to the cops out there that take their job fucking seriously, go to the gym, understand the importance of their job, and actually like take training seriously. Respect to you guys. Go on.
Fuck, what was I gonna say, dude? Oh my
god. It was after the fat dude walking up with his badge and his gun, and I was talking about.
But it was. I was gonna say something before that I had on my mind.
Oh shit.
Something about. Oh, what do you guys think about like that whole thing where it was like, oh, we should send social workers to nonviolent calls or something like that?
Okay, that's just easily disprovable, because I think it's one per 100 people is like a natural born psychopath. So there's always going to be evil in the world. And that sounds so cliche, but even from a biological basis, there's 1 in 100 people are psychopaths, even if it's 1 in 1,000, but I'm pretty sure it's 1 in 100 that have no capacity for remorse or empathy or anything like that. And they are basically just completely selfish and are willing to use devious means to meet their ends, right? So if you just allow that, you open the fucking floodgates by saying we're just going to send in a social worker. If I'm a psychopath, I'm not a psychopath, and I could probably manipulate a fucking social worker into just leaving me alone, right? If I am a psychopath and I got my shit on lock, dude,
light work.
What the fuck is a social worker going to do? Mm-hmm. At that point, there's just always, I can't even come up with the words for that. That is so fucking stupid.
Bro, my sister,
there's always going to be people that are there to take advantage of a weakling that comes up to stop you.
My sister's a social worker. So if I would be scared for her if she went on a call
Yeah, bro.
Like, I don't know, whatever the code would be. Like, yo, freaking non-violent
Domestic
altercation. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't fucking know. But
I was just going to say, like, I think that the social worker idea is good for stuff that doesn't require police. Like, if you have a non-violent person that's, like, on drugs and is just, like, on heroin and is just, like, passed out on a bench. Yeah, you don't necessarily need to send a cop in there. I mean, you can.
No, dude.
What?
Bro, I got to show you this video. There's a fucking guy. Sorry to interrupt the whole story.
Out.
Bro, fucking guy. Completely passed out. OD on heroin. Literally,
okay, maybe that was a bad example.
Literally,
go on.
Literally OD'd. You can look this up, fact check it, whatever. OD'd on heroin. He's on a bus, and he obviously doesn't move. The bus driver's like, yo, cops, ambulance. We got a guy who's OD. He's OD'd. Mm-hmm. These guys literally save his life, and he wakes up and he's okay. Bro, homie draws a gun.
Holy
because they're like gonna arrest him, right?
Oh yeah.
And he draws a gun and he just starts fucking. He shot on accident. I think the main person who helped him got shot in the face. I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
I don't know for sure, but he got shot. The main person who helped him.
Do you just laugh?
And then he was shooting.
No, I gasped,
bro. And then he just like got in a shootout with cops, and then a pedestrian in the background got shot by the cop, unfortunately through the crossfire.
Jesus.
And they ended up killing him.
Okay, maybe that's a bad.
Okay,
but yo, bro,
okay.
imagine going to a call, guy is OD'd, and you help him. It's all sunshine and rainbows. He's alive. You brought him back to life, and then homie's like, dude, imagine that, bro.
Okay.
But yeah, bad example.
Maybe fucking cat stuck in a tree. I don't know, all right?
Yeah.
If it's something that there's no it's just like, hey, we need a person's help because we can't do this ourselves. There's some situations where you could send in a social worker, or if someone's like, I don't know, maybe like I'm really depressed, I'm worried I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe something like that.
For sure.
But if it's something like, because from the people that I've talked to that are progressive, their idea is that, well, if we had more social workers, there would be less crime in the first place because crime only spawns from fucked up childhoods and fucked up life circumstances and stuff like that. No.
Fuck no.
There are psychopaths in the world that just want to hurt you if it benefits them. It's not because they had a bad childhood. They had great parents. They have a lot of money. They're successful in life, probably in part from being a psychopath. That
American Psycho.
Yeah. Those people biologically exist. It has nothing to do with their upbringing. A social worker is not going to fucking fix them. There's always going to be a need for law enforcement. It's just the way it is. And then, because I asked this person that I was talking to, I said, well, okay, let's say we abolish police. Then what would you say? Maybe privatize it? Like there would be each town would have their own like private security. And this person said, no law enforcement, no police at all. This can all be fixed from the ground up. You are either really ignorant or you know that you're lying and you have some ends by which the means you don't care how many people get hurt in the process.
Yeah, you personally don't want the police out there.
Yes, and I think
something.
that's what it is because some of these people...
It's like, I want to go fucking 150 on the highway.
Yeah,
you know?
or it's just like... It's like they get whipped up into such a fit of rage that they hate police so much because of these things that happen in the news that they go way too far and they say, that's it, abolish police as a concept
it's
entirely.
Emotional.
It's completely emotionally based. You haven't thought it through at all. And if you have thought it through at all, you've only read one side of the story. Yeah. You haven't even looked at what the possible benefits of police are and why we might need them.
Yeah, bro, and I really do feel for the cops who are just getting treated like shit, but they're like good cops, you know, they're good people.
Yeah,
they're
I
trying
know.
to do their fucking job.
It sucks, man.
I feel for those guys. And I was going to say, there was that one story, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but they were literally just like sitting in their car. I don't know if you told me or my dad told me or what. They're sitting in their patrol car, two of them.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, and the homie just pulled, like, literally just
shot
walked
him
up.
right in the fucking face.
The one got shot, I think instantly died.
In the neck.
And then the girl got shot in the jaw.
No, I think they both survived.
Okay, but she got shot in the jaw, and she literally made the call on her walkie-talkie with a with her
fucked
jaw,
up
like fucking blown
and she
off.
was a wife.
Yeah,
she was a mom of like 2 kids.
Homie just pulled
A
up.
normal good person.
Yeah.
And this person just has a hate
Because
towards
for
every
what?
cop.
Yeah.
For what?
Because I guess one cop did something.
News said
I don't
this
know,
police bad, they racist.
So yeah, these cops are just getting shit on for obviously shit. It's like you can't. I don't know.
I say in the places, these cities where all this defund, abolish the police, and you're seeing this in the fucking Congress. Rashida Tlaib, have you seen that congresswoman? I think she's a congresswoman. Said that police as a concept will never, that they are rooted in aggression and wanting to cause harm in others. They will never be actual guardians. They need to be abolished entirely. This is not random left-wing nuts. This is mainstream leftist politics. AOC has called for defunding the police. Rashida, maybe even abolishing, but definitely defunding. Mm-hmm. Rashida Tlaib, Tlaib, I think it's Tlaib, has called for completely abolishing. Ilhan Omar has called for completely abolishing.
Is that the one? Is Omar the one who wears the turban?
Yeah.
That's the only one I know. Her and AOC.
Yeah, and these people, like, yeah, you have longtime Democrats in Congress who don't really do anything, but these young progressives with loud mouths are the ones with the biggest social media followings. They are the ones with the most cultural swing. Yep. And you've heard this 1,000 times. Politics is downstream from culture. Culture happens first, politics happens after. So if you have people like AOC who get 1 million fucking viewers in her live stream, when she does a live stream on Instagram.
Did she really get 1 million?
I think in one live stream she did. But she has like 10 million, 14 million followers, whatever she has, some ridiculous amount, 5 million. I don't fucking know.
I just want to have a conversation with one of her followers and be like,
no, but people don't understand. Like, you can't just laugh them off. These are the people that actually have cultural swing within the Democratic Party. And you're seeing where that's leading us. There's actual laws being created now that are being based off of these things that are way outside of the Overton window, the natural kind of window of political discourse of what's considered acceptable.
Yeah.
2.5
And calling for abolishing police is way outside of the Overton window. But already, I think in New York...
2.5 minutes, by the way.
2.5?
2.5 minutes. We got to stop it at 2:07. Or
2:17?
2:17.
Fuck.
We'll get into it in the next one, man.
Jim's like, fuck it, switch the cards.
2:07. We'll just
Fuck.
get into the next one. Fuck it.
I mean,
That sucks.
did you have a lot more to say? I mean,
No.
You just
Well, we can get into it in the next one. I didn't even cover Project Veritas, but...
yeah, I was gonna say because there was a couple parts where I want to like butt in, like get that CNN part.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm down to keep going, but I don't
fine
care.
with keep going. I might need to take a little bit more caffeine, but other than
Sush,
that,
you can go to bed if you want. Me and Kenny will just rant for another 5 hours.
dude, the base cast. I'm gonna go on a rant about like
Sush
DMT
will be
demons.
waking up tomorrow and we'll still be talking.
check the SD. All right. Well, should we just
cut it right now.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out. So we decided to get a new SD. Sush is right behind the camera, holding it steady for us. Thank you, Sush. And he's just eating. What are you eating right now?
Show the camera. What you munching on, bud?
He's just getting a little snack in
Little rice checks.
before he rejoins us. But in our time off while we were getting the new SD card, Kenny and I decided to watch the video that we were talking about before of the guy getting pepper sprayed. And like it's really not clear cut because there's a good case to be made on both sides. On one side, the video made it pretty clear. Like the cops were just, yeah, they had their guns drawn. They shouldn't have had their guns drawn. Maybe you guys can fucking debate that, but they've got their guns drawn, but they're basically just probably said it like 20 times. Get out of the car, get out of the car, get out of the car.
Yeah, they were being extremely patient at first.
Yeah, and he was not like the deer in the headlights, like I was saying before.
No, he
I'm
was
like,
talking back. He
yeah,
was
I'm thinking, okay, because when Sush described it to me, I'm thinking, okay, this guy's probably stricken with fear, doesn't know what to do, is like incapable of talking. He actually set up his camera and he's kind of looking like, here we go. you know, like he set up his own camera, which I think you should do if you're pulled over.
Yeah.
And they're like, get out of the car. And he's like, what did I do? What did I do? What did I do? And it's like, get out of the car. It's that simple.
And
what they were actually,
like, dude, I wanted to be on your side so bad.
Yeah, like I really do hard. Because like they pulled him over for initially they were gonna pull him over because he had like illegally tinted windows and he also had no rear license plate. And it's like, okay, and then he ends up driving for like a while to pull over. So then they treat it as like a chase or whatever because he didn't like immediately pull over. And okay, yeah, it's like a little petty thing to be pulled over for. Mm-hmm. But if they say get out of the car, this whole thing could have been avoided if you just gotten out of the car. And that just kind of goes without saying. But also at the same time, I don't know if they're allowed to do this. But if the cops had just said, we're pulling you over because you have no rear license plate and you have tinted windows, that's a traffic violation, get out of the car. That also might have just cleared things up a little bit. Yeah. Because there is part of me that I empathize with the guy in the car. It's like, who are you to kind of tread on my rights for no reason when I'm just driving? But sometimes you don't know the reason, and there actually is a valid reason. If you have no rear license plate, you gotta have a rear license plate.
I understand his frustration with wanting to know the fucking reason, wanting the information, but that is not an excuse to repeatedly 20 times disobey what the fuck they're telling you to do and guns pointed at you.
I know. And it's just like, so there's that side of it, but then also on the other side, it's like it goes back to what I was saying with police training. If these had been Jocko Willink types, I don't think guns would have been drawn. They probably would have expertly evaluated the situation, realized this guy's not violent, you know, probably not gonna randomly freak out and like try shooting at us, and doesn't appear like he's on drugs. He's just standing up for his rights. And I don't know if you've like watched any of Jocko Willink's stuff, but he's like a very kind of personable guy.
I listened to him on
Joe Rogan
and on Jordan Peterson's recent one with him.
And he's like a very personable guy. Yeah. And I feel like if I got pulled over and I'm like, fuck this, why am I getting pulled over? Why are you treading on my rights? But Jocko Willink was there without his gun drawn. And he's like, hey, man, listen, I know like this is annoying, but like blah, blah, blah. Here's why you got pulled over. I'd be like, you're not a bad guy. All right, I understand. I got to get out of the car. Like it completely changes the situation. 100%. And this just kind of circles back to like the need for kind of just in my opinion, just changing what policing is and like how it's looked at. And when both sides are aggressive, like that just doesn't lead to anything good. But if the cop is well-trained enough and confident enough in his own ability to defend himself, then it's going to be much easier for him to de-escalate the situation and say, you know, chill this guy out and say, you know, it's no big deal, like blah, blah, blah. We're pulling you over for this. So the pepper spray, in my opinion, was unnecessary.
I thought that was dumb, yeah.
Like, the guy's not getting out of the car, I know, but, I mean, pepper spray is not going to extract him. Yeah, it's not going to extract him from the car. It's just going to, like, kind of, if anything, make him more mad.
More aggressive.
And that kind of seems to be where what Sush was talking about with, like, they almost just want to exert power over someone else. Some of them. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say the majority of police do, but there are some people in general, which therefore means police, are going to be like, oh, you're not obeying my orders? Well, I have the right to pull out my pepper spray right now, even if deep down they know that's probably not going to do any benefit to the situation. Like, there's no way that cop thought as he's pulling out the pepper spray,
this will get him out.
Oh, this will get him out, or this is going to be good for the situation.
He's an idiot, which is not.
Yeah, it was just completely based in like, I'm the guy in charge here. I have the right to pepper spray you right now because you're resisting, so I'm gonna fucking do it to kind of put my foot on you and show you who's in command here. Whereas if someone already knows that they're the fucking man, they're alpha, right? They don't need to project
like, bro,
that.
I can pull you out of the car with my fucking bare hands. I don't need to pull out a gun. Like Jocko could go rip me out, bro.
And having that confidence of like already knowing that you're in the more dominant position and not having to prove it to this person
much calmer.
Just chills everything out, and you can de-escalate the situation. So
I don't really have a side. Like at first, I wanted to be on the black veteran side so bad, but then after seeing how much he wasn't complying, regardless of like the police like making the stupid decision to have guns drawn so early, now it's like, okay, yeah, the cops were done for that, but like that was just this one part, and you just made everything after that so much worse by not getting out of the fucking vehicle, dude.
But I will say, we didn't really get, and it's kind of hard to get full context with these mainstream media clips. It kind of just shows, like the clip starts with them already having their guns drawn.
That's why I'm confused on like how did it get to guns?
Right, because you have to think like if I'm a cop, and let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they were genuinely under the impression that this guy was trying to flee. If I'm a cop and I'm genuinely under the impression that this guy with tinted windows, no license plate, was just trying to flee, I'll probably be much more ready to have my gun drawn because I'm like, what's this guy going to do? Right? But the media kind of paints it in this way where you're already starting the clip at that point, so you automatically see the cops as aggressors. I honestly would need to see the full body cam footage. Yeah, because if the body cam footage shows that like they were genuinely under the impression, hey, this guy's trying to flee, we're trying to pull him over, and finally he pulls over.
I would like to see the dash cam, because I would like to see, are they just following him and he's like going the speed limit until he gets to this place to stop? Yeah. Like versus like if he was speeding, like going like 115 and a 75. Yeah.
I mean, he probably wasn't. He probably wasn't going that fast, but you know.
But I'm saying in that scenario, it would make more sense for them to be like, oh shit, this guy's running. Let's have our guns drawn versus dude's going the speed limit. Is he really trying to outrun us? Like,
yeah, I know. It's sticky because there's just so much that goes into it. Because
we lack information.
Then you could say to that, well, even if you are going the speed limit, you still have to pull over.
Yeah.
You know, it's still technically fleeing, even if you're doing the speed limit, because if the cops have to chase you, that's still technically fleeing. So there's always another side to each one of these like micro issues within the bigger issue.
That's true, but I will say also, like, even if it's the wrong opinion or the maybe not the most well-balanced non-political thought to have, if, say, you're a black man and you're about to get pulled over and you think currently there's a racial tension between police officers and black people, I would definitely understand not wanting to pull over to the side of the road and go to a public area such as that rest stop.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah. Yeah, as a black person, if you're kind of under the impression that, like, you know, there's a lot of racial tension right now, maybe as a black person, I would also want to be like, you know what, I'm going to get to, like, a place that's well lit and there's people around, so there's witnesses, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say real quick because I overheard you. You said he wasn't fleeing. Mm-hmm. He said that he didn't feel comfortable pulling over on the freeway
and
or also, something like that. But it's like, bro, just pull over. Like, it's not supposed to be where you're comfortable. It's supposed to be where the safest placed. Mm-hmm. Or like if they said, or like if you think it's a fake cop, because you know how like girls get kidnapped and it's a fake cop, they like say pull over on like in a store or somewhere public. Mm-hmm. Clearly it's not a fake cop, but it's like, dude, just pull over on the freeway. What's the issue? Right. You know? Like why drive a whole mile and wait till the next exit and go to the gas station?
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those kind of rare stars aligned to make it like a really bad situation. And also the cops involved. I'm reading this quote. The Nazario, that's his last name, said, "I'm honestly afraid to get out of the car." And one of the cops responded, "Yeah, you should be."
Oh, what the? Come on.
Why would you say that?
I don't
why
like
would the cops say that?
now?
Yeah, no. So now it's like I see that and I'm like, that is the opposite of de-escalating the situation. Yeah. Again, I keep referring back to a Jocko Willink type, but if Jocko Willink was there, you think he'd say, "Yeah, you should be." He'd probably be like, "I understand that. There's no need to be concerned. Exactly. We're not going to hurt you. We need you to step out."
Because this guy might have been under the influence. Like, if I get out of this car, they're going to take me to the ground. And like, whether you have a certain opinion about the George Floyd situation or not, what if they're going to like put a knee on my neck when I'm on the ground? You know, that's a reasonable fear.
Right.
I would say.
Yeah, 100%. But
then was George Floyd on drugs?
Yeah,
I mean, if you see him the video of him tweaking in the fucking store before he went out there.
No, I honestly don't know anything about the George Floyd
was
thing.
Doing the fucking.
Hold on, just before we move on to that topic. Yeah. Because the first one I opened up was when I looked up veteran gets pepper sprayed. The first one I opened up was a Yahoo News which is like very
Super left.
very, very left wing. And
People
they
use
say
Yahoo still?
no, it was just like the first story that came up, and I instinctively clicked on it. I should have used DuckDuckGo instead of Google.
Shout out DuckDuckGo, bro.
Shout out DuckDuckGo. I got something to say on DuckDuckGo. Don't let me forget that.
You should just tell them really quick, just like another browser.
For some veterans of color, a video of police officers holding a uniformed black U.S. Army soldier, they capitalized black U.S. Army, at gunpoint was a reminder that sometimes not even a military uniform is protection enough for black Americans against threats of police brutality. And they capitalized black Americans.
So they've already labeled it that this situation is police brutality.
Yeah, they've...
So they're almost saying that if you're wearing a uniform, you can't get in trouble.
No.
It's almost like what you're saying.
They're saying for some veterans of color, this video is a reminder that even a military uniform is not protection enough for black Americans against police brutality. They're saying, oh, even if you're a veteran, that doesn't matter because you're black. That's how the news is framing this. So you're already framing the whole story. This is like the second paragraph by saying this is clearly a thing of racism.
It's insane that people just read that and they just see it as like unbiased information.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Like even if I leaned left, I would read this and I'd be like, all right, like just tell me, like, come on, chill out a little bit. Like it's your Yahoo News. You're not fucking like
right.
This is not an opinion piece.
Because because at least with me, and I'm sure it's the same with you, there's a lot of times I'll read like a right wing headline or like something posted on a right wing account, and I'm like,
I get annoyed.
This is just political drivel. This is just propaganda.
It's like, yes, I'm conservative. I lean conservative, but sometimes it's like they're saying something like, dude, you sound just as stupid as the people on the other fucking side.
Yeah, I know.
Bro.
Like
you're
is
twisting
literally
it just as much to fit your side.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I just want information, like
and like when the a good example of this is with the Dante Wright thing that happened. What?
This shit says the reality some of our soldiers face. Like,
yeah,
what?
That's
now
the
it's like
cops hate blacks and veterans.
they're
jealous.
Cops hate veterans.
No, but with the Dante Wright thing, that is the guy who got. The story is she went to tase him. She accidentally shot him.
When was this? Because I've never heard that.
I very loosely saw it on the news.
This is huge.
But
There's like riots going on because of it
right now.
Okay, you definitely know way more than both of us. So
yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and explain that situation, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I will, but just to touch on the whole thing about like conservative propaganda, because I see it a lot. As soon as the Dante Wright thing came out, there were a couple accounts I saw that the first fucking thing they posted was they pulled up his criminal background and said he was a criminal. Let's just establish that he was a criminal. And it's like,
well, that doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
They did that with George Floyd.
Yeah. And with George Floyd, it's like, okay, let's not forget this guy was a criminal. It's like, you guys are that's irrelevant to the actual situation. Especially if the criminal background had nothing to do with the situation.
Yeah, maybe if he's committing a crime at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like,
that's different. That's
different. A crime.
Right. But
it's like, bro, that's like pulling up, like, it's like me going and doing something, or me getting killed by a cop, and then them being like, guys, he did steroids. Yeah, so he wasn't.
Exactly.
He's not a good guy. Like,
yeah, exactly. And it's framing it in that sort of way. That's a good point. And it's like with the George Floyd thing. It's safe to say that he hadn't completely changed his life around due to the fact that he was on speedball, which is meth combined with fentanyl at the time. But to pull up something, and like, this is obviously super fucked up, but he had like committed this crime. He like put a gun against a pregnant woman's belly, and back like years before the whole thing happened. And that was like the first thing these conservative accounts that I follow were posting. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's fucked up, but what exactly does that have to do with the situation at hand? And there are countless cases of like, and they know this, they have to know this. There's countless cases of people that completely changed their lives around. Like I just saw a podcast with Michaela Peterson. She was interviewing a former mob boss who went to jail and ended up turning his life around, and now he's a motivational speaker. So it's like, I know that if this was a conservative that had died and had a similar background, they would say, oh, well, he committed crimes in the past, but he was a changed man. But because it was like a black person that died and they wanted the narrative to not be attacking them, they were like, okay, wait. He was reformed, or he was a bad person. He was a bad person. It's like there's tons of instances where people do really fucked up things earlier in their life, and whether they're like what's it called, like born again Christian or whatever happens, they end up turning their lives around. So let's not act like
people change.
But I think with the George Floyd thing, it's a little bit different, because at least the way Candace Owens put it was, she made a video and she was like, okay, George Floyd didn't deserve to die in this way, but you guys need to stop idolizing him as if he were like a perfect citizen.
Correct.
So, and I think that's actually a fair point to make. Okay, let's not act like it was okay for him to die because he had a criminal background, but you guys need to stop turning him into a martyr and making him seem like he was like, oh, look at this great person that died. She's like, her point was based, and she's a black woman, right? This is not coming from a white person. Not like it should matter, but her point was like, okay, there are people in the black community that are actual like great people that didn't deserve to die, and maybe someone who threatened a pregnant woman at gunpoint, and is like a long-term drug addict, maybe that's not the best person to like herald as like an outstanding member of society.
Yeah, like I don't agree with the whole like painting his face. Like there's like hella graffiti. Yeah, and it's like, bro, kind of a bad guy.
Yeah, like not a great guy.
I
but
think
again,
the thing is timing though. Like maybe there was this great guy that was a victim of police brutality and died. And he was a great black man, but the political climate, maybe someone else was in office. Oh, it doesn't matter. But then this happens at this time. They're like, this is perfect.
Like, bro, you've got guys
this
like
guy, make this guy seem like an angel. We can use this so well.
Oh, it was perfect timing. They just needed, because I mean, this type of thing happens all the time. There's always people that, there's like,
I feel like they're comparing him to like Martin Luther King Jr. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They've got guys. You've got guys like Martin Luther King. Like Malcolm X is kind of touchy, but Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X. You got these like big fucking names that have done
a lot
for like the black community and minorities.
Yeah,
but then you have him next to George Floyd.
Exactly,
and it's like,
and
bro,
I think
like,
that's what Candace's point was like, okay, he didn't deserve to die, but let's continue to champion people like Martin Luther King. Let's not start championing this person just because he died in an unjust way, if he's not worthy of being championed as a human being.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if I'm a hardened criminal and I die, that doesn't make me worthy of being championed. Maybe I died in a bad way and I didn't deserve to die like that, but that does not automatically make me a good person.
I know this isn't like the same thing at all, but it's like when people and I was a fan of Juice WRLD when he was alive, but he died because he took a bunch of fucking drugs and overdosed. And I see people like, he didn't deserve to die. And like when people like make jokes about it, like on TikTok, I saw a TikTok kind of making a joke about it. People were like Juice WRLD fans were so mad. And it's like, yeah, you can be mad. You could like his music, but at the end of the day,
what did you expect to happen?
He chose this life. All his music's about doing fucking drugs, and he overdosed. Like, you can't defend him that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before. Like, I do have empathy for drug addicts because I know, like, a lot of the time it's not their fault per se. Like, it kind of is, kind of isn't. Like, something grabs hold of them and they can't help themselves.
Being addicted
but also
sucks.
At the same time, it's like, it's starkly different from being like assassinated. Like MLK was assassinated. He was a great person. I mean, I've heard people say like, oh, he did this and he did that. From what I fucking know about MLK, he was a great person that did a lot for civil rights. And
that's the thing, like, even if he did a couple bad things, look at all this fucking good shit he did versus like this guy did all these bad things and like, oh, he might have died a little unfairly, so let's compare him to this fucking Martin Luther King guy over here. It makes no sense.
Yeah, so I mean, that is an issue, and it also doesn't do their movement any good.
No,
because it gives the other side ammo. Like, oh, this is the person that you're idolizing, not a good person. But if you just stick with he didn't deserve to die, but MLK is still like a better person, then that completely changes the whole landscape. It helps
their founder cop a mansion, though.
Yeah, 2, I think.
She has multiple like high value properties. The Marxist founder of Black Lives Matter bought a over $1 million mansion
in a neighborhood that is 98.5% white.
What do you think about that?
Damn. I mean,
I'm not surprised at all.
Everything's around. We've been over this on this podcast. Everything revolves around money.
Yes, sir.
Follow the money. If she
Follow the money.
I assume when she started it, she probably was like, "This is going to be a good movement." But then once the money started coming,
Corruption.
Things change, and she's probably living large right now.
Yeah,
She's probably got her feet kicked up.
big chilling.
Yeah. So I saw that.
Wait, so we need to talk about the girl.
Asian hate?
No, the girl.
The girl cop.
The girl cop using the taser or thought she was because
so-
I have no clue.
okay.
You guys have blue balled me on this for fucking
I'm sorry.
35 minutes.
All
Sorry,
right,
bro.
all right. So Dante Wright was being pulled over because I think it was just a normal traffic stop. Maybe ran a red or something like that. Just like a normal everyday traffic stop. But then they realized when they took his ID and like ran a check on him, he had an outstanding warrant for a gun crime. And all of a sudden that kind of like changes the situation a little bit.
Yeah.
And so they went up to him and they said, "Sir, please step out of the car." And he's like, "Why? What's going on?" And I think he called his mom because he like didn't know what to do. And I'm not actually sure whether he knew he had a warrant or not, because you can get a warrant without being completely aware.
It's a little weird. There's a website where you can look up your name and your maybe your social, and it'll tell you if you have a warrant. I did it.
What if we look it up and we both have warrants?
No,
up
bro,
on
I
our
did
record?
it.
And you won't know.
Yeah, I did it just because I was like, fuck, I don't know. Like maybe I do have a warrant.
Yeah,
but
so
I like
this
You
guy-
could forget to pay some sort of little ticket, and like all of a sudden you're gonna have a warrant.
And then
Right.
and then next time you get pulled over,
gonna be
that
like, oh.
pops up on the computer, bro. You're booked. Like
Yeah.
they're straight up taking you to jail.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go out hunting for you, but it's like when they come across you again.
Yeah. So, dude,
Yes.
look
You
it
go to
up.
jail
I don't know
then.
what website it is, but you guys should look it up.
Yeah,
and-
look up if you have a
I'd be
warrant.
scared to.
Look up.
I know. I was like,
I don't wanna know,
I was
bro.
literally like, fuck, dude, what if I have a warrant?
Take them away, boys.
Okay, so he called his mom.
Duck, duck, go. I still need to talk about, and I need to check if I have a warrant out for my arrest. So I'm just going to cover what happened without inserting any of my opinion, and then I'm going to talk about it after. So called his mom, probably didn't know that he had a warrant, and then there's like a few cops around him, and they're saying like, get out of the car, get out of the car. He's like,
This is on video.
yeah,
Okay.
there's body cam footage. He's like freaking out. Apparently didn't know what he did. And then this female cop yells, "Taser, taser, taser," because he like was refusing to get out of the car. And I watched the video. Like, yeah, he was resisting. He wasn't getting physical. He was getting physical, but he wasn't like throwing punches or anything. He was just like definitely not fucking
Trying to
getting out of the
avoid-
car. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, fuck no, I'm getting back in the
Yeah.
car. But anyway, she pulls out what she thinks is a taser. This is the official story. She pulls out what she thinks is a taser and yells, "Taser, taser, taser." And then it's actually her gun, and she shoots him, and he drives like a few hundred yards, and then crashes, and he's dead.
Oh, he died. Fuck, I didn't know he died.
Yeah, he
Damn.
died.
Damn.
How
And-
does that happen? Because they purposely, I'm pretty sure it's left hand, like your weak hand is your taser, and your strong hand
Well,
is
this-
your
yeah.
It's like
handgun.
a bright yellow, like half
Yes,
pound
bro.
thing versus a fucking like 5
Yeah.
pound.
This is-
It's like, how do you fuck
like-
that up, you dumbass bitch?
I don't, and that's like, for me, I will make no bones about it. I don't know what the term is, but basically I'll be transparent. I have no idea if she knew what she was doing or if she didn't.
Yeah.
Like, if she was just psychopath, fucking
Racist
lady,
maybe?
racist who wanted to like kill this guy.
just wanted to say I thought it was my taser. Like knew what she was doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because-
almost so like, oh, taser.
Taser.
Right.
Yeah, and then like, bro, how do you fuck that up? Dude,
Because-
now that this is
because-
like some
hold on.
deeper shit, bro.
Yeah,
now
because
that thinking about it.
I'm usually on the side of defending the cops or giving them charity and being like, cops are people too, they fuck up. But when you fuck up like this and it's so bad and it's like not like a little oops, I slipped and my gun went off. It's like you deliberately, like there's so many things that had to go wrong that it almost makes it seem like it's impossible for it to be a coincidence.
Yeah.
Like there's part of me that's like, there's no fucking way that she didn't know she was shooting this guy. Because you're right. There's one side for the taser. There's another side for the gun. So step one she would have had to fuck up is getting the wrong side. Step two she would have had to fuck up is holding out something in front of her.
In your fucking vision.
And realizing that the weight is different. The trigger system is different. It feels
it's just
different.
a whole totally different fucking thing.
It feels different to hold a taser.
It's like a toy versus a fucking
exactly
handgun,
yes,
dude.
It literally
probably a Glock.
Have you held a taser before?
I've never held a taser. No.
The whole thing just feels completely fucking different than
not
holding
like a gun.
a gun.
I guarantee you, it's like
a gun's
fucking,
heavier.
Bro, it's like probably like a remote. You know, like a
yes. And for one, the weight of a taser, it's very front weighted. And with a gun, it's more back weighted because the ammo is all in your hand. So the way the weight's distributed, the way the handle is, the way the trigger is, it feels fucking different. So that's 2 things that she had to screw up. 3 things she had to screw up is not in her peripheral noticing that she's holding something bright fucking yellow versus holding something that's black.
Yeah.
That's 3 that she would have had to mess up.
And then
4
saying
is,
taser.
4, is the fact that
how many rounds did you? Okay.
Just one. But the fact
it would have been a little. It would be more sus.
more sus
if
with
you
multiple. Yeah. No, it was
fucking-
just one. And that is the only thing that makes me kind of think maybe it was a mistake because usually if cops shoot to kill, it's like bang, 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 bang.
But
and you can only shoot a taser once. But this 4th thing she would have had to mess up is the fact that she held this out in front of her for like a good, I can't remember exactly, 3 to 7 seconds where she's holding this in her hands, pointing it at the guy. And the whole time she would have had to not notice, oh, this is my gun. So
yeah, so it's like no matter what this other fucking guy
Damn.
okay, not no matter, but like even if this guy may have been in the wrong or like something's going on up until that point,
that's
after
a whole
that
other
it's like
discussion.
this bitch, no matter if she's an idiot
Did
or
she get
did this
fired
on
or
purpose,
what's the
it's
deal?
fuck it, this is her fault. Like she killed
What's
someone
the deal
that
with
shouldn't
her?
have been killed.
Oh, yeah.
She get fired?
I'm 100%. She resigned, but I think she's going to face charges.
Bro,
because
manslaughter for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think that she should go to jail for manslaughter. I mean, if this was truly a mistake,
That's fucked.
I feel worse for the
Yeah, but
guy.
defund the police, right? We don't need more training or anything like that, right?
If it is true that this was a mistake, I do feel worse for the guy and his family. 100%. But I also feel bad for her because she had been a veteran of the force for like 26 years or something like that.
Damn.
And if this was, assuming this was,
damn,
bro,
that's a whole.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought she was like a rookie, bro. I thought she was like 22, straight out of college.
But you have to think if this is in either a small town.
Where's this at?
This was in the same place George Floyd was killed, I think, Minneapolis. What the fuck is his name? I just fucking said it.
The victim?
Something right. Dante Wright. Duante. It's spelled like that.
You know what? I may have heard of this on like something talking about like, oh, this happened in Minneapolis.
Yes, it was.
This is recently, right? This is pretty recent.
Yeah, saw it on the news the other day.
Yes, it was in Minnesota, Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, and Brooklyn Center. I don't know. It's just like a city outside of Minneapolis, I guess. It's an inner ring suburb of Minneapolis, St. Paul. So it's like, I don't know. I'm saying for this argument, let's say for now that like it was actually a mistake, and maybe she had just never been in a high pressure situation before, because not all cops are out there fucking shooting people and know what to do. A lot of them are never, in the whole time they're in the force, never do they have to actually shoot someone, right? She's got to be torn up about it, because killing someone and you know that you were the one who fucked up and you cost this man his life for a non-violent offense, like, and now on top of that, you're going to face jail time. I mean, that is just like, you just fucked up a whole lot of people's lives. His whole family, you fucked up his, you fucked up yours, probably fucked up your fucking family.
And all the riots.
And the riots. Oh, yeah. I mean, the butterfly effect from this.
Fire.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the riots were started because of this. But then on the other hand,
what if this
there's
is
part of
like-
me that still just doesn't believe that this, like, how do you not know?
What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, what if this is just like some deep state shit?
What? Yeah, I was gonna say,
Like,
what if,
it's just
imagine
a
it's like a
plant.
false flag, bro.
Yeah.
Which this would be a perfect. I would just say,
Like,
it would
just to
be
fuel more
Well
riots.
done. If
Because
it is.
this
I'm
is-
not gonna say it is though.
Oh, wait, no, it is a false flag. I'm sorry. It is, because
Oh.
it all clicked. This is in Minneapolis. The Chauvin trial is taking place right now. The cop who killed George Floyd. The cop who killed
Going
George
on right
Floyd
now?
is going on right now. And
okay, let's be careful not to say this is a false flag, because like that's
this might be a false flag according to someone who is
down. Yeah, we don't want to get this taken down. So.
All right, I'm just gonna bleep that part out. This might be a false flag.
It's possible. Anything's possible. So
anything is possible. So even if there's a 1 in 1 trillion
the
chance.
YouTube moderator watching this, you think he's watching this like 3 hours in?
All right,
but
he
listen,
had his button on the kill switch.
Yeah.
All right,
listen.
All right, go on. Tell us why it might.
So
why you speculate how this might be a false flag?
Because I know that like not all the people watching, but like some people watching that are like the more skeptic types.
Well, this right now you don't have to worry about it because only the skeptic people are still watching the podcast.
No. I'm saying the more skeptical types are the ones that are like false flag, conspiracy. That sounds crazy. No way. But just pretend that this is fiction. Just allow your mind to open up. This is during the Chauvin trial, and if they can prove, or if they can. This is during the Chauvin trial. Chauvin is the cop that was involved in the death of George Floyd. Whether he killed him or not is up to be determined in this trial. It's happening in Minneapolis. The jury lives in Minneapolis. And what better way, hypothetically, to...
Holy shit, dude.
What better way to scare the jury into a guilty verdict, even if the evidence points to this was only manslaughter or this was only negligence? What better way to scare them than having something that is so obviously fucked up as accidentally pulling your gun instead of your taser? People on the left and the right unanimously are like, dude, what the fuck did you just do? How did you mess it up that bad? Even us who are like the skeptical types, we're still like, bro, she had to have meant to do that. And if you can convince everyone that she meant to do that, then the riots are going to be fucking astronomical, and they are right now. I mean, the riots in Minneapolis, bro, are just insane. There were already a lot of protests just because of the trial going on.
Like a certain agenda in which you want to manipulate a certain group in the population to do a certain thing, arguably this incident, if they can prove it or lean towards the side that this was on purpose,
genius move.
This will be way better than George Floyd's situation for the media and for whoever the people controlling the strings who want to.
Right, because George Floyd, you can say, actually, the defense brought in a medical examiner, the prosecutor brought in a medical examiner, but then the defense for Chauvin, defending Chauvin, was allowed to ask the medical examiner questions as well. And they said, all other things aside, if you were to have found Floyd alone in his apartment and you did a drug test on the drug levels in his blood, would you rule this an overdose? And she said yes. Yep. And it's because the LD50 for fentanyl, so the lethal dose that kills approximately 50% of people that take it, LD50 is like a good way of measuring what's generally a lethal dose of drug. The LD50 for fentanyl is, I think, 4 nanograms per deciliter. It's 4 units. I forget if the unit is milligrams per deciliter or nanograms per deciliter, but it's 4. And George Floyd had 11. So he had almost 3 times the lethal dose of fentanyl. Granted, he is a big guy, but still 3 times. And he was also on a pretty hefty dose of meth. He also was saying, before he was on the ground, it's recorded on body camera footage, he's saying, I can't breathe while he's standing up. So he's already having issues breathing. He's already saying, I can't breathe.
What was I don't know who it was, but who was the conservative, that got on the ground and I don't know if it was an officer, let someone kneel on him to demonstrate. And he was on the ground. He was like, yes, this is very uncomfortable. This is very painful, but I can breathe. I'm not in fear of my life.
I didn't see that. No.
You didn't see that? Fuck.
So wait, I thought they said that there was an actual move where the cop restrains you, puts you on the ground by putting your knee near your neck or near your shoulder, on your back or something like that. Yeah. But then they said that it wasn't. When you look at what he was doing, he's doing it wrong, and he actually.
Yeah. So the Minneapolis Police Department apparently trains knee on the upper back, right up here, on kind of like the vertebrae that sticks out. You know that one vertebrae you have that sticks out? It should be right on there. But he was a few inches higher on the neck. Some different camera angles might suggest that He wasn't as on the neck as the original shows. In my opinion, it looks like his fucking knee is right on his neck. But according to what you just said...
I hope I can find it, bro.
So regardless, I'm sure the knee on the neck did not help the situation if he's already having trouble breathing, because he says, I can't breathe multiple times when he's standing up. And then he requested that the officer put him on the ground. On the body camera footage, he says, like, I need to go on the ground, something along those lines. And then he gets on the ground. And
probably because homie couldn't stand up straight, right?
I mean, yeah.
He's about to faint.
But what's funny is we just did the podcast with Remington, where he said that on multiple occasions, when he had a lot of drugs in the car and cops pulled up, he swallowed all the drugs.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what if George Floyd, because he...
But you think it would have kicked in that fast?
I've never done speedball. I've never done speedball.
Actually,
all I know is that...
If you just like... Man,
and this was a long ordeal, too. He died like a good 20-something minutes after cops first showed up. Chauvin didn't show up at first. Other like rookie cops did. And Floyd was like resisting. So they called in Chauvin priority 1 because he was like a more veteran officer. So it's not like he took it and then immediately died. This was like 20, 30 minutes afterwards. So
maybe he got pulled over, like snorted a bunch of meth.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Or just ate it or whatever it was. But it's like, because having Remington on and seeing someone who was like a former drug addict say like, yeah, people do that, you know? You swallow all the drugs so you have no evidence.
Yeah, you'd rather be sick than fucking arrested.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's all speculation. I don't know what happened. There was one person that was at the scene that said it looked like he had something on his tongue at first. Who knows? That's very loose evidence to go off of. Yeah. But just the idea that we literally had a former drug addict on the podcast saying, when you see cops pull up, you take all the drugs so that there's no evidence. It's just kind of another thing that adds to it. But regardless, you have the blood toxicology report that showed at his time of death almost 3 times the amount of the LD50 of fentanyl. Yeah, so
you couldn't find it?
Nah, I was going through because I saw it on, it was like a screen recording of like a conservative news site, whatever, but I saw it on TikTok, so I was going through my likes trying to find it, but maybe I didn't like it when I saw it on my feed. Fuck, that would have been cool, but
what you were saying about the false flag potential, I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah, after you explained it, I was like, holy shit, now.
Because
potentially, it sounds like maybe, perhaps, it could,
so who's
wacky world be a false flag.
Who's doing it?
Well, that's the thing that I wanted to say is like...
Who's in charge of the false flag?
A lot of people...
ordered it?
You either believe that there's shit going on behind the scenes or you don't. And it's really hard to even have the conversation of, well, hold on, let's talk about maybe if this was, you know, forced to happen by outside forces. It's impossible to have that conversation with someone that's not willing to think. And if they're too scared to, and I think it comes from a place of fear, if they're too scared to say, what if there is such thing, whether you want to call it the deep state or the political elite, or the globalists, whatever term you want to call it, the people that are kind of one level above government that don't have the same rules and ethics boards that government does, you know, they kind of just manipulate things the way that they want to. You saw Bill Gates was thinking about dimming the sun by pumping millions of tons of particles into the upper atmosphere to like dim the sun.
Or something like that?
Some shit. And it's like...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bill Gates
what?
is on a fucking bean, bro.
Well, like...
Yo, what is up with Bill Gates? Is he a psychopath?
We got...
Yeah, a little bit.
We could go fucking ham on...
I'm not trying...
now... Bill Gates is Windows guy, right? He's Windows guy.
Let's stay where we're at, though, for now.
But it's just really hard to have this conversation with anyone that's not willing to even be open to it. And I'm not even saying it as if, like, this is 100% what happened, but it's... In my opinion,
there's nothing wrong with approaching things like this with an open mind, though, and a fair dose of skepticism.
Bingo.
But when you have someone that's like,
and it's fun,
they don't want to, blissful ignorance, whatever, they don't want to believe they live in a world where like evil or just bad powers have like these secret behind the scenes like influence that can change things. They just want to think like what they see and what the news, whatever side tells them, that's how it is. They don't.
And with me, but
it's fun though. It's fun to like think about. Oh, this is dope, and like to read about it. And
I just
to
feel,
me, because for someone that's not really into it, like you guys are, for me, it's just like interesting and fun to listen to.
See, you think it's fun, and that's how I was. Like when I was younger, I was so into researching like Illuminati, and I would watch so many Illuminati videos on YouTube. Now I'm realizing, oh, this shit that I believe in now makes the Illuminati look like the Boy Scouts. Yeah. But
all the old celebs going like this, and I was like, whoa, Illuminati.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, anything that has a circle is one eye, and like I'm like,
yeah.
I was tripping, but
and now it's like, oh no, this is sadistic.
Yes. Now I'm thinking like some people just have this. It might be just a certain part in your mind and your DNA and your personality. Some people like willing to like. You think, oh, it's fun. You're gonna look into it. You're gonna approach with an open mind. You might have this whole revelation perspective shift versus these people that. Simply, no matter what you show them, you can show them a video clip of the fucking technical director of CNN saying how their shit is propaganda, and they won't care.
Yeah,
but it's fake.
It's just because they're afraid. They don't wanna
live in a world where there are forces that they can't control.
They don't want to believe
because it's like it's way less anxiety inducing to force yourself to believe that like your vote counts and politics is the highest level.
Yep.
And if you don't like certain things that are happening, you can just vote it out. That is so nice and fluffy and fruity and flowers and daisies. It's so nice to believe that, but it's much more scary to believe that there are really bad people with trillions of combined net worth that can have influence in ways that you can't even imagine.
Money.
Yeah. And at that point, it's like it's even more than money. It's like institutional just power and control.
Our first podcast about conspiracy, when we were talking about 9/11, we had the comments. There were a few, and the guys were like, "What are you talking about? 9/11 is a conspiracy. Like, oh, not with this bullshit." And I feel like 9/11 is one of the ones where it's just so
easy to see
clear.
There's some weird shit going on. Like, even if you still think a terrorist flew into the tower. It'd be stupid to see the amount of evidence and not think there was something weird going on.
What's the biggest piece of evidence for you with 9/11?
Wait, are we done talking?
Okay,
are we done talking?
No. This is a side issue. Last 30 seconds.
So I could get into like, oh, scientifically the tower couldn't have fallen that way. Oh, scientifically they didn't prove the building. What was the third building? What was it called?
Tower 7.
Tower 7, whatever. My thing is,
Building 7.
It's funny because I saw this video also on YouTube through David Lade throwing it on his story for a couple minutes. But it was called Zeitgeist Addendum, and it's this old documentary, and it explains basically the story of the Rothschilds, the banking systems, how the fucking Federal Reserve took over and took power of everything. Yeah. One of the things that really made me like, oh, we wanted an excuse to go over to the Middle East is that in Afghanistan, like other countries, that's where the poppy seed farms are. Poppy seed is what is used to make opiates. Mm-hmm. And a little bit after, so we go, okay, so 9/11 happens, maybe, terrorist flies in the building. Mm-hmm. Let's go here. Let's take control of these opiate farms. These opiates come back into the country and these poppy seeds come back in the country become opiates, opioid epidemic. Not only are we making the money off the opioids, we have the fucking source. It's like an infinite money farm with all these fucking drug addicts going around. Like
the coup de grace.
Like when Remington was like, the opioids are fucking addicting.
Yeah, no, and then the medication to get off of it is addicting.
It's worse. It's arguably worse. There's a certain one I don't remember the name, but it is like
that's what worse. That's what Remington was saying. So like literally,
methadone?
Dude, think about it.
There's another one.
They're in charge of the
synephrine or something.
They're in charge of the pharmaceutical side. So like the drugs to get off of it. They're in charge of the drugs, the heroin side, like the opium side. And like because of the farms and stuff, so it's literally like
and it all just comes together.
Money machine go bird. Yeah, like addicts go bird. It's like we're profiting.
Yeah,
like,
and they
why would we want to stop
prescribe them like fucking. It's so easy.
Yeah,
in a lot of cases, like
say less.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's such a glaring issue. And when you look at it on its own, it's like okay, the opiate epidemic is like bad. We shouldn't prescribe them as much. But when you kind of link all these things together, like how do you go from 9/11 to the opiate crisis? But then you kind of just did it. And you can do that with like a million
was there an
issues
opiate crisis like right after 9/11?
I don't think it was right after,
it was
but it's been a gradual building. And it's
Like
Like
it happened. We
2010
went over
or
there.
something.
We got control of stuff. We got control of the fucking poppy seed farms. I don't know how many years later, if even a year later, it just started popping up. You know.
Okay.
It's like a 3D chess play though for the people in power, Rothschild's banks that own these certain like medication corporations, these certain like medical whatevers.
Big
it makes
domino,
perfect sense
big domino
to like
effect.
It makes perfect sense to like, hey, we're making these fucking opiates that are very addictive, even if it's not a big problem yet. It's addictive. These people love it. Let's go get control of like the fucking source, and then we don't have to give any money to these like Afghanistan people that run the farms. We'll steal the fucking farms from them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he asked you what was the main source of evidence. Is that like the evidence?
No, that's just the reasoning for me to like.
So what do you think
that's
the evidence is? Like the fucking crystal
think-
clear.
Dude, it's
crystal
been so long
clear.
since I've dived into this, but it's
Yeah.
like mainly like the science behind it. Like
The building.
jet fuel came out still BMs. It's like so much science. Like why did the tower fall? Like a fucking perfectly controlled demolition.
That I don't understand.
But I
Like why is like the footage on certain news sources like almost like altercated in certain ways, and like this video from this news source does not look anything like what happened on this one, and like.
But I just wanted to quickly say that I think deductive reasoning, like you just said, can be a form of evidence sometimes. Not hard evidence, but soft evidence. Like if I invest in your life insurance and then you just happen to die in like a fiery car crash the next day, there's no evidence just from those facts that leads back to me. That's hard evidence. It's not like they found my DNA at the scene. But if someone looked at those facts, they could still just via deductive reasoning be like, James might have played a role in this. You know what I mean? So yes, there's no hard evidence in what Kenny was saying, but I still feel like it's soft evidence in a way that, well, 2 and 2 go together, and then these 2 go together, and then these 2 go together, and it just kind of seems to be this big circle. It's not proof by any means, but maybe it's something to look into. But it was just funny because I saw a couple comments where we talked about 9/11, and there were some people in the comments that were like, oh no, because this is wrong because like here's like this evidence, and they would cite stuff that was just like mainstream evidence.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind
Like,
of counter to the point. We're saying that maybe you shouldn't listen
he
to
would
the
like
mainstream
this guy
evidence.
like wrote out like a fucking huge book, which I didn't even read. I was like, James, did you see this comment? And he was like, yeah, he's just stating mainstream evidence. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's like, bro, like you gotta make an argument or something.
Exactly.
Like, why would you just start?
I mean, I wish I could
That's
come
okay.
here with the fucking 9/11 evidence that like maybe
No, we
back
just
when I was
we
really
dropped that on
into
you
it,
out of nowhere.
back when I was really into it, like that I might have had these statistics, these facts, this fucking this and that, but like now I'm so more concerned about what's been going on recently.
Yeah.
That 9/11 is like nothing to me anymore. Like,
Which
it
is
doesn't,
crazy.
It doesn't.
You
Yeah,
know?
it is crazy that I'm like that's a drop in the fucking bucket
Right.
now. The Illuminati is not scary anymore. I'm scared about these fucking.
Blood suckers.
These globalists. I'm scared of these like weird satanic people that are in power in like Hollywood and politics and stuff.
Bro.
I'm scared that like why the fuck are these children being trafficked and no one's doing anything about it?
Like a lot of fucking children.
Wait, what?
Fuck, dude.
What are we talking about, children?
No, he was
We
just
got to be careful when we get
he
into
was just
children, though.
going off the deep end there. But I like that. But that's a lot to get into. I just wanted, because we got to wrap this up because it's pretty fucking late. It's like 3. The Project Veritas thing, real quick. Project Veritas, I covered it just briefly before.
Spell it out, bro, because I don't even.
Project, you know how to spell that? VERITAS.
Okay. Veritas.
Yeah, it means truth in Latin, I think.
Veritas.
So,
Epic.
I'll have to watch some Project Veritas tonight.
they do, their own independent journalism. Like I said, they cover the migrant detention centers, and they also they do like a lot of exposing people. So they will, for example, like pay someone in Twitter or pay someone that works at like YouTube or something to record the like executive meetings that are supposed to be like top secret and leak it to them. So it's all hard evidence. It's not like
So go ahead and talk about
theorizing.
CNN thing, because you guys haven't talked
So
about that.
they basically, I from what I saw, it was a fake Tinder date. So this guy was like either a journalist or an executive. He was some high-ranking person at CNN. And they set him up with this girl. From, again, what I saw was like a fake Tinder date, and she was wearing a little cam. And this guy spilled the fucking beans everywhere. I mean, the equivalent of like
fumbled the bag, bro.
Taking a whole vat of beans and just emptying it out. Like, you couldn't make this shit up. It's like the craziest shit. So one of the things he said was that, and you can go watch this. You can look at Instagram, the Project Veritas account on Instagram. One of the things he literally said was like, oh, I've been doing some research into like the Asian hate that, we report on at CNN. And it's actually like black people committing these crimes most of the time. But like, we can't report on it when black people commit the crimes because we're trying to help BLM. And it's like, come on, why are you doing that?
Come on, blacks, knock it off.
Yeah, and he laughed at it. And then I think he kind of realized he was being racist, and he was like, oh, I mean, it's just individuals. It's not a whole people.
Yeah,
but
I heard that.
He kind of backpedaled because he realized, oh, that's fucking racist.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but, and he literally said, it really is just propaganda.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He's like, yeah.
We're like, quote, propaganda.
Yeah. It really is just propaganda. We're just trying to help out BLM. Like, we know that it's mostly black people that are committing crimes against Asian people. Like, holy shit, bro. That's a grand slam right there. That's a 3-pointer. Like, oh my. You just fucking spilled the beans everywhere.
We splashed the beans from half court.
I mean, we already knew it, but like, to the average person that kind of watches CNN, there's no like, oh, maybe he meant this. It's like, you heard what he fucking said. So no one can ever trust CNN again.
Is this like, is CNN taking a big hit from this, or is like this kind of going under the radar?
Who even fucking knows,
it depends, because do the people that fucking watch CNN, are they going to go on Instagram and have the algorithm recommend them a Project Veritas video?
And Twitter just banned James O'Keefe.
Yeah, Twitter's gonna lock that shit down fast.
He banned the owner of Project Veritas, who was like posting a lot of this shit.
Banned them today?
Yeah.
So fun.
For like some weird
community guideline or some shit.
Yeah, community guidelines. They banned him. They're working in tandem with CNN. There's no
also
fucking surprise
mentioned
there.
what he said about the getting Trump out, and also what COVID meant to CNN.
Oh yeah, he said. He basically said like, our main goal was to get Trump out of office, and he said, I honestly think if it weren't for us at CNN, Trump wouldn't have gotten voted out. Like, he literally said that. And he's like, we knew that we were making up fake stories. We knew that with, Trump's whole health crisis, we knew most of that was fake. But, it's optics. We gotta get the guy out of office. So we have to lie about him.
Fair play, bro.
If you there's no way you can see that and be a normal thinking person and continue to support and watch that news source and believe anything they say.
Yeah.
But what you said, I don't think most people who are watching CNN are seeing that clip.
They're not going to see it.
They're not going to see the clip. They're never going to hear about it.
Only people like us are going to see it, and we already don't fuck with them.
That's what sucks, is like, we get in our own
hopefully people out there,
Yeah, maybe y'all.
I'm trying to pull
who knows? Our fucking podcast about to get destroyed after this episode.
Fuck. Nah.
Yeah, but
we're sick cunts.
there was like a lot of shit that I sent this. I won't say who I sent it to.
While you look that up, I'll say like about COVID. He literally said that COVID was a
okay, I'll just read it out.
You want to read it out?
COVID gangbusters with ratings. Gangbusters means like amazing, like hit it out of the park. Gangbusters with ratings, right? Which is why we constantly have the COVID death toll on the side. Let's make it higher. Like, why isn't it high enough, today? Like, it would make our point better if it was higher. It's fear. Fear really drives numbers. Fear is the thing that keeps you tuned in. If it bleeds, it leads. And then...
Who is this?
This is the guy that works at CNN.
The technical director. Yes. Saying this to some random girl. Technical director at CNN saying, we wanted more people to die from COVID.
Yeah. He's like...
I want the death toll to go up.
Like, he kind of jokingly, but half not joking, was like, why isn't the death toll higher? No one ever says these things out loud. Bro, literally him saying that.
You should post that on your story right now.
I was thinking about it, but I might get shadow banned. Yeah.
Oh shit.
If you guys want to see, because I post this kind of stuff a lot.
James Spanish.
@_ James Spanish on Instagram is where I post the shit that might get me shadow banned. No one ever says these things out loud, but it's obvious. This is coming from the CNN technical director. No one ever says these things out loud, but it's obvious. And then like James O'Keefe comes back and he's like, hey man, so like what the fuck was all that stuff that you just said? And this guy is fucking quaking in his boots.
Got in his car, slammed the door on his microphone. That was funny.
He says, sad news doesn't do well. Fuck. Sad news doesn't do well with ratings. You know, like if you can get someone impassioned, that does really well with ratings.
Just saying, we want to make these people emotional.
Yeah, sad news back to back to back doesn't really do well unless it affects them directly. COVID gangbusters with ratings, right? Which is why we constantly have the COVID death toll on the side, which I have a major problem with how we're tallying how many people die every day, because I've even looked at it and been like, let's make it higher. Like, why isn't it higher?
Let's make it higher. Let's raise the death toll.
Bro, this guy's got to be a fucking moron. Oh, dude, he's horny as a disease. Dude is so horny.
Yeah, bro.
Dude
He was
is so horny where
bad.
he's trying to like impress this girl, like how much he can sway like the American voters.
I think we got Biden through this term. We would always show shots of Biden jogging, him in his aviator shades, like you paint him as a young geriatric.
I mean yeah.
We were creating a story with Trump health that we didn't know anything about, you know? That's what I think, that's propaganda. Look at what we did. We got Trump out. I'm 100% going to say it, and I 100% believe that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have got voted out.
That's a bomb, bro.
That's it, baby.
I mean, but like we can't really be surprised, you know?
I
It's
know.
just like
it's not.
I'm not
news
surprised.
to us.
for me, I'm just literally like, well,
I think it's just cool
I'm
though,
not
because now
surprised
we
at
have
all.
verbal evidence
Yeah.
from CNN that we could show to someone that's skeptical versus like saying it and it's like, yeah, I mean, just think about it. They're like, no,
I don't even want to
no.
engage. I want you to send me that post, but I don't even want to engage on it. I'll get shadow banned.
Yeah.
Type shit.
I mean, I definitely like posts and save them, but it's only if something is like really important, then I'll post it. But this is really important. But again, it's like a lot of people aren't even interested in it.
Yeah.
Which makes me not want to post it. But then again, it's like, well, you should be interested in it because this is like a lot of
Maybe I'll
fucking
toss-
people's
You
parents
should
watch
care.
this.
Maybe I'll
Yeah.
toss it up on Sus, bro.
Yeah. It's the cult.
Or maybe we toss it up on MogCast IG.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. But regardless,
I'm a little scared.
I'm not-
I make money off my story views, so I wouldn't.
That's the thing that
I
we talk
wouldn't
about. Like, want
jeopardize-
to be outspoken. Then we're like, oh, I don't want to get shadow banned on
That's
Instagram.
so true.
Yeah.
That's so true.
It's
maybe
fucking-
I'll just
it's
say
a-
fuck it and post it anyway. Actually, I'm gonna do it. I just
Based
made that
James, let's
decision right
go.
now. But fuck was I gonna say? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that that stuff is true. It just surprises me that he said it out loud. I knew
Yeah.
that stuff was true.
If you're
It's,
horny
it's,
as a
it's the
disease,
type of
bro,
thing that you would think even a CNN person talking to another CNN person wouldn't say
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
You wouldn't say that because it's like, yeah, we all know it deep down, but we're not going to fucking say it
Yeah.
out loud, let alone to a random
the
girl.
They'd be like, bro, don't say that. Don't
yeah,
say that.
like, dude.
We're at a meeting right now. You can't say that.
Yeah.
You know? But he fucking said it to a random person.
Well, do you remember the guy's the name of the technical director?
I
I was just going to say, shout out you, bro. Like,
Charlie Chester.
shout out Charlie Chester,
That's
bro.
such a cuck ass name, bro. Charlie Chester.
Yo,
you're a
there's at
fucking
least
pussy.
one Charlie Chester that's watching our MogCast right now. He's pissed.
Shout out
Yo,
you too.
Charlie, I apologize, but bro, yo, Charlie Chester from CNN, bro, you're a cuck. I fucked your wife, bud.
All right, I'm fucking done. I'm done. We went another
Jam
hour,
fried.
bro. 3-hour podcast again. Fuck.
I need a shower.
I know. I'm so greasy, man.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of MogCast. Bro, what did we talk about? We talked about a lot of shit, but we talked about current events for like an hour and a half or so. But
Yeah.
we
SARMs
hope-
and current events.
yeah,
SARMs,
SARMs,
Stinky Puss.
Stinky Puss. Can't forget that.
drinking, smoking,
Yeah.
lots
Good
of
pod.
ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, a little bit.
Yeah, this was a
It's
good
crazy
pod.
how long this pod was, and we still like barely scratched the surface for so much shit.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like deep inside, I'm like, oh, I want to say more.
I know.
Like,
I know.
Like I have a whole.
I mean, we're gonna have you back on plenty of times.
yay!
So
All right, guys.
we'll get to all this shit eventually, but
Hell yeah!
right now, we are fucking tired. It's 3:21 a.m. So thank you all for watching.
If you watched the end,
comment.
Based.
No.
Some more special.
I was gonna say comment expose CNN.
Comment Charlie. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, just comment. Shout out Charlie Chester.
Yo,
yeah,
if you
Charlie
watch till the
Chester.
end, which if you did, you won't have a
Praise
problem
him.
commenting this. Say Charlie Chester. Just say something about how great of a guy Charlie Chester is, bro. Be like, yo, Charlie Chester.
No slander. Just all.
Yeah. Only good things about Charlie
That's
Chester.
probably gonna boost the algorithm too, because
Yeah.
YouTube's
CNN,
gonna see that.
liberal,
Yay! Promote this video.
Yeah,
So-
positive stuff about CNN, positive stuff about Charlie
Yeah,
Chester.
yes.
Yes.
And then people who don't watch the end are gonna see the comments and like start commenting back and be like, "Dude, CNN's so whack," but really they didn't watch till the end. Yeah,
They'd be like, oh,
Holy shit. Yeah. Say I love Joe Biden in the comments right now.
I love Joe
this could
Biden.
get
I
a million
love
views.
Charles.
Fuck yeah.
A million views. All right, guys.
right.
Hey, man, if Anabars happen to come back in stock anytime soon, you guys know, use code MOG. You guys can save.
Wait, where are they? I thought they were supposed to be here already.
I don't know, man. We'll get them soon. But if they come back in stock, go ahead and use code MOG. We should have a sponsor by next video. I hope you guys like the new setup. Should be a little bit cleaner next time. Maybe some chairs and shit. But
And if you want to support us individually, you can use code SUSH or code JAM
on the gorilla mode.
for gorilla stuff.
Hell yeah,
So-
baby.
All right.
Time for fucking bed, bro.
Yeah.
All right,
Weird
guys.
noises means time for bed.
Peace.
Peace out.